Riddle taking flight, yo.
What up? You are live and direct on Petty Sports, the podcast brought to you by Kings Broadcasting Studios. It's your boy, the host, Famous Fees. They call me Facts. Yo, NFL Week 1 is here. Man, Adam, holla at him before I just get going.
You already know what time it is, baby. Petty Sports, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. You were in the right place. Look, if you're listening to the show tonight and you don't like NFL, just go ahead and log off now. Close the browser. It's all we're talking. Picks on predictions, awards. Look, I don't want to spoil it, but call the show. Get in the chat. Give us your take because we got so much on the slate tonight. Fees, as always. Take it away, bro. Tell us what's up.
Hey, man, the slate is crazy. Just like he told you, it's a whole bunch of NFL on the docket for the night. We doing the NFL award predictions, talking about like MVP, Rookie of the Year, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about the AFC and the NFC predictions for the playoffs all the way through. Got to get a preseason look for you. It's a little college football in this thing because, you know, we watched some college last week. That thing is on and popping. We got a little Sha'Carri update because, yeah, she's always in the news. She won't shut her mouth, so we got to talk about her too.
Very true.
So, you know, man, as I tell you every single week, get your popcorn ready. Get you a good stick. Pour you some J-Mo or whatever it is you drink. Get your notepad. We already told you about fantasy football. It's about to be on and popping, man. So we're going to go off the top. Man, we coming straight for you. NFL action. Tom Brady, he's complaining. And I know a lot of y'all don't like to hear about Tom complaining about anything.
How do you with 7 Super Bowls?
He might actually have a legitimate gripe. This is probably the third time now we've heard Tom go on record complaining about the defensive players being able to change their numbers to single-digit numbers. And he went a step further to actually explain why he has an issue with it. Say if you have linebackers and defensive linemen with single-digit numbers, now he's looking at them like, I don't know what position they're playing, don't know what kind of set they're in, don't know if that's a DB, a safety, a D-end, a linebacker, or what. And, I mean, it sounds like, oh, I mean, they made it more difficult for you and you don't like it. But if you look at it in the grand scheme, he gave an example of what he meant. He's like, that would be the same as if we let offensive linemen wear 20s or 80s, and now you don't know who's eligible.
For a check down.
Because of the number.
Yep.
It's like, oh, yeah, we got a little Sha'Carri update because is wearing number 26. Or you got the guard wearing number 82. It's like, is he eligible to run? Like, what is the set?
Tight end, fullback, halfback, screen. We don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea. So it's like, I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so I guess if anyone's going to complain about it, and not even in this type of way, it's going to be Brady. Guy's been in the league for over 20 years, 7 Super Bowls, 2 different conferences. We know the resume for Brady, and I mean, he does have a point. You know, he's put in years and years and years of probably tricks and tips and little nuances to where he understands the game better. So, I mean, we'll call it the Brady rule, I guess. I mean, I know he's got the Tuck rule already in his favor, so I guess we'll, in a couple years, switch it back, cite Brady, and then he'll have more haters. But, I mean, he's got a point. He's been in the game for so long, and he's got a little bit of a gripe with it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he's looking out there. He's been studying film. He's actually, like, researched and knows who these players are. And now, in different numbers, like, wait, who exactly is that? I don't know which guy that is because he doesn't have the same number anymore since y'all are allowing people to change their numbers.
Right.
But I was listening to Brady Quinn earlier, and he had a deeper point. Say Brady and only probably the older quarterbacks in the leagues will have an issue with it.
Right.
The younger quarterbacks are fresh out of college.
Of course.
And in college, they have been doing that.
Right. They've been learning the playbook.
Well, no, not learning the playbook. They're used to seeing defensive ends and linebackers wearing number 9 and number 2.
Right.
It's like they don't have any issue differentiating between what position it is based off the number because they've been doing that in college for decades.
Yep.
But that hasn't been the case in the NFL.
Right.
So it would only be really annoying to an older quarterback.
Yeah. That'd be like if, what if Aaron Donald wasn't number 99? Would that be as effective? Because everyone says, 2-3 bodies on 99. Well, what if he's Number 7 now. I kind of see where Brady's coming from. Like, you do discipline yourself, like, number 23 might be Marshawn Lattimore. Number 56 might be Darius Leonard. Number 99 is J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald. You've got these superstars. So I get where Brady's coming from now. The more we talk about it, you've got these specific stars you point out, but then if they're switching up, it's like, oh, who is this guy? Like you just said about
you're playing a team with multiple stars. It's
right?
Like, wait, who the hell are these people?
Number
I don't know
1,
what number they are.
Number 7, number 85, and then number 12. Yeah, I don't know how this works.
You're like number 11. Oh, that's a rookie. I'm about to pick on him. Like, oh, didn't realize
As
that
Richard
was
Sherman Prime.
T.J. Watt. Like, oh, my bad.
Yeah,
you're actually good.
Yep. You already made a mistake.
You're not
now.
a new guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I mean, he could be backing himself into an excuse for being like, man, I threw the pick because I thought he was a scrub and I didn't know who he was because of the number.
Incoming Brady rule. do.
I mean, it could be a thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something to look at. But, we had to give you a little something off the top just to go ahead and get the beak wet before we jump into this thing. We're going to start it off tonight with college football, though. Just like we told y'all last week, Alabama would run through Miami. And what happened? Alabama ran through Miami.
Destroyed them.
They added them to the list of season opener kills. I told you a week ago, they have won their last 6 season openers by an average of 29 points.
30.
They won by 31.
Hit the average.
For all the people who jumped on the video and on the post acting like Miami was going to do this or that or they had a chance.
No.
I'm going to need you to tune in and you definitely get your notepads out.
Yes, please.
Because y'all tripping. Like, you really have faith in them. So my first question to you is, was there ever a point in the game where you thought that Miami actually stood a chance?
Hell no, absolutely not. I mean, Miami didn't even get a legit drive, it felt like, until the beginning of the second quarter, and then King gets popped, the ball's folded in, Alabama's on top of it, they're out here celebrating, and you feel like they're taking control of the game already. I mean, Miami was never able to get any sort of stable foundation, simple, rolling out of the pocket, like establishing a run game, because that's what Alabama is. This is no surprise. Alabama is going to be this effective until Nick Saban steps down. Like, until he is not calling the shots for this talent and for this recruiting to come in, this is going to be Alabama as we know it. But you look, they were up 27-3 at the half. They were going away with the game at the halftime, and then you have the turnover. Alabama throws a 94-yard bomb, and that's the dagger. I mean, I didn't even watch past that, man. It's 34-3. You really think Saban's going to throw below a 31-point lead? No, I don't. I predicted 45-14, 44-13, and you were fairly close to it as well. So
44-17. It was 44-13.
Exactly. I mean, we knew this was going to be a wipe, and it's no surprise. I mean, Bryce Young, I got to say, that kid can actually play. Yes, he's standing behind a great O-line, and of course, he's already playing with, NFL starters probably from day one at this moment. But Bryce Young still is able to, make the big throws, able to make the throws on the run, and overall be that, prototype of quarterback that people are starting to see. And I got to say, you got Mac Jones in the NFL now, starter. Tua's in the NFL now, going to be a starter. I hope the Eagles have it together, and they're going to have a starter in Jalen Hurts. They're creating this mantra to where, hey, we're not just defense. We're not just wide receivers. I'm about to potentially put a 4th superstar quarterback into your league, and here he is butting in front of you. So hats off to Bama, and Saban's probably going to win number, 8 this year? Is that what it is? 7? I don't know. Too damn many.
8, I don't know. He's got a lot.
Too damn many. Him and Brady are just in the same class at this point.
Yeah, man. It's pretty much outlandish. I mean, Bryce Young did come out there and put together a masterpiece for anyone who was concerned about what he was going to look like. Oh, they got a new quarterback.
He wiped that away the first quarter, really.
Only put up 344 yards and 4 touchdowns for the best debut for any Alabama quarterback. I mean, he out-threw Mac Jones and Tua and Jalen. So, I mean, he's on pace to do what they did. He might even do it bigger.
Right.
I mean, Mac just a season ago did more than what Tua did.
Exactly. And I want to say the 94-yard bomb, I heard it was tied for the longest pass in franchise history. This kid is smashing every possible record, got the win. Cupcake schedule for the rest of the way. I mean, here we go with the tide again.
And he threw the bomb to a kid named Jameson.
There you go. There you go. Cheers to that, baby. There we go.
Yeah, man, but they came out the game just looked unfair from the start, man. I mean, they were up 27-3 at the half. They just looked bigger, stronger, faster. The game was not evenly matched at all. I mean, if you watch Brian Robinson out there, almost every carry, it took 3-4 guys to bring him down. The first defender never tackled him.
Right.
He's running over people. He's dragging people. I mean, there were times in the game where I saw him with a guy on his leg, and he's dragging him for 2 yards, and then somebody with a running start came to hit him, and he stiff-armed him into the ground and drugged the guy on his leg for another yard before they finally pulled him down. It's like, yo, they looking like straight man children out there playing against boys.
Right.
It wasn't fair.
Yeah.
Miami was way overrated. And
100%.
I'm surprised they're still ranked.
Yeah. I mean, look at Manny Diaz. This guy's known for bringing pressure, in very creative ways. He sacked Bryce Young one time. This dude's putting 7-8 people back in coverage. Do we not know from the past 15 to 20 years of college football, if you give a team like Alabama time, they're going to win the football game, torch you through the air, and throw for over 300 yards? All three of those happened.
They can already run the football extremely effectively. You see, they went like 3-4 deep in the running back room.
Yep.
Even though the novices never even really heard of Brian Robinson, they went deep, and all of them ate. None of those guys were getting tackled on the first guys. Like,
right.
They're going to have the deepest running back room for years to come. Mm-hmm. I mean, the list in the NFL right now is just countless, and they're still pumping them out.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, which brings me to my next question. Should we just go ahead and just give the trophy to Nick Saban and crew? Is there anyone that's challenging them this year?
I mean, to refer to the latter question, no, I don't think there's anybody that's going to challenge Alabama this year. We're about to get into Georgia, and got a lot to say for you Dogs fans out there. I'm a Dogs fan too, but let's not eat the cheese and take the fool's gold. Don't see Ohio State competing. Definitely don't see Oklahoma competing. I mean, there is no one right now, and for the lack of better memory, outside of Clemson, anyone that's really been in LSU, anyone that's been able to knock off Alabama. I mean, they run away with it every year. When you think that they've sent everyone to the draft, now we've got 7 more 5 stars just, waiting. We've already contacted them in the 8th grade, and they're going to play for us in 6 years. Like, don't even worry about talking to them. That is the mantra with this team. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give it to Saban and his minions. I mean, they're probably going to take it home again. There's no one that is a powerhouse like Alabama right now in college football, but this is nothing new.
There's not a single team in the top 10 that I would give within 20 points of Alabama.
Exactly. That's just it's literally Alabama in the field. It is Alabama and everybody, and it's not even that lopsided in the NFL right now.
No, like there's more parity in pretty much every sports league outside of college football.
Exactly. This is why it's hard for me to stay caught on. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Huge dynasty, great franchise, but damn, you like to see someone else get in there. That's why we love to see Clemson. LSU took it home, just absolutely blew everyone out. I mean, Oklahoma with the little runs, Georgia when they decided to do it, but it's always Alabama at the top.
Even the year that LSU won, they beat Alabama by what, 5?
You're right. They had to scrape their hearts
Tua.
out.
Like, right. Tua was on one leg.
Yep.
And they still were within a score of winning that game.
Yep.
Against the team that set every offensive record in NCAA history.
Yep, and LSU was up big in that game. So I think they were up like 28-10 at the half, 20-7, something like that.
And
then
them down in the second half.
Yep, and then Alabama just dug in and came back and took away your left hook and just took away your best move and put you in a corner and damn near won that game without a quarterback. Pretty impressive. It shows you what Nick Saban can do.
Oh, no, Tua played. I think he damn near threw for 400 yards. He couldn't run.
Right, without a full disposal of your quarterback, rather.
I mean, in hindsight, they could have just put Mac in.
Looking at it now, yeah.
We had no idea that he was that good.
We didn't know who he was, though. We didn't know who he was yet.
All right, he got that one in. So we're going to stick with college football, but we're going to change gears.
Oh.
We're going to go to the UGA Bulldogs.
Man.
They outlasted Clemson 10-3 in a straight-up defensive battle for the ages. So, man, with the major opening day win under their belts, can you trust Georgia to finally get the job done?
I will absolutely not trust Georgia to get the job done. Surely do not, because everybody out there, Dogs fans, everyone that watches Georgia sports, if you like the Dogs, there's a chance you like the Braves and the Falcons and all these other teams, the Hawks, right? So check it out. It's always the same thing with the Dogs. And there we go, Gary. It's always the same thing. You're going to come out and you're going to have a great defense. And we know that. Georgia has had a great defense year in and year out and year in and year out. But they come with the quarterback and they coddle the quarterback. They don't get an elite quarterback out there. Look at JT Daniels. He looked devastated to throw down the field. All these Georgia quarterbacks, the guy threw down the field, 10 yards, more than 10 yards twice in the game? I mean, let's be real about this. They have running backs all the time, uber talented, and they just run these guys into the ground. A Sony Michel, a Todd Gurley, a DeAndre Swift. Like, where the hell is DeAndre Swift right now in the NFL? That guy did a lot of, like, he was a big reason, him and Michelle, as to why the Dogs were able to get some recent success.
Blowing games in Detroit.
Exactly. Dropping passes as a rookie. And then you take a further look at the Dogs, and it's like these cookie cutter quarterbacks, like, we can't even get a little bit of mobility, a little bit of a break of stature to create a play with your legs or work off script, because year in and year out, it's no surprise, rather, that they held Clemson at 3. Let's address the Clemson part first. LSU is ranked number 6 after they won the college football national championship, right? They were 5-5 last season, correct? They were not. They did not have a great record.
No, that's right. That was a record.
Exactly. You look at Clemson coming in at number 3 after losing in the runner-up college football playoff game. Everybody's in the draft. ETN is gone and hurt now. Lawrence is gone. Like, the defensive players are gone. The O-line is gone. So Georgia was supposed to beat this team. Like, they're both stripped of talent, but it's not a surprise because they're not elite. DJU was sacked 7 times. The O-line was bad. Like, it was a ugly showing. Okay, are we rah-rahing over a pick 6 right now and no offensive touchdowns? I mean, that's really what's getting to me is people are out here saying now at this point, is this potentially Kirby Smart's best Georgia team ever? Are you kidding me?
Really?
Are you kidding me? The best Georgia team Kirby Smart has ever had, without question, and people know this, is Jake Fromm. But let's look at some of the numbers, right? So people want to talk about this elite defense. Georgia, the last 4 years, 18th, 1st, 20th, and 4th in total defense for the year. But you look at their passing yards. They were 43rd in the country last year, 76th, 69th. Do you want to know what rank they were in the country when they went to the national championship?
Well, they were 52, I think.
106th.
Oh.
Double that and some fees.
Wow.
They don't pass the football. And we see this all the time in college football. You have teams that come out, big defenses, but where's the offense? And again, Georgia, they have a chance to go undefeated. There's no question about that. But are they going to beat Alabama? No. Are they going to shrink at the biggest moment? Yes. Do they have an elite quarterback? No. And I'll say this right now on record, Georgia will not reach success again until Kirby Smart is out of the building. He is stuck. It is stale play calling. And when you know how to stop the run with Georgia, they're not going to threaten you downfield. So I'm not impressed by this win. Congratulations on being the number 2 team now, Georgia, but let's be real. Like we just talked about, fees. Alabama is going to the national championship and winning it. Georgia will not be the champions. Absolutely not.
I mean, Georgia is notorious for being the most talented team in the country that never gets it done.
Exactly.
I mean, you brought in a quarterback from the Pac-12, mind you, because they figured they would get somebody who could pass. But if you actually look into what they did, they brought in JT Daniels, who was running the air raid offense at USC.
Exactly.
And got benched and transferred because he wasn't going to play. Like, Keaton Slovis is the starter there, and that's why JT Daniels is at Georgia.
Yep.
It's not because he was an elite quarterback. I hope you didn't think you got a great guy. He couldn't actually start at the school he was at.
Exactly.
Like, that's not one of those, Jalen got pushed out by Tua, or not a Baker Mayfield situation, or none of those guys who transferred.
Right.
He actually wasn't that good.
Right.
And now you think he's your savior, and you got the same problem.
Exactly.
You got another quarterback who can't throw and is scared to throw the ball down the field.
Exactly.
You have an elite front four. I mean, they held Clemson to 2 yards rushing.
178 passing, too. Absolutely locked them down.
2 yards rushing and 180 yards total for the game.
Yep.
And you won by a pick 6?
Yep.
Like, you easily could have lost that game with that stout a defensive performance. It took above and beyond for you to get the W.
Right.
It doesn't really speak volumes.
Right. This is not the best Georgia defense ever. This is not the best Georgia potential offense or Kirby Smart team ever. Like, let's throw that out the window. Again, look, we see it every year. Like, if you look at Georgia's schedule, they are about to play arguably their softest schedule in the last 5 seasons.
Oh, easily.
And they're probably going to go 10-0, 11-0, right? But when they meet their match
they'll
in
lose
the
to somebody they shouldn't lose to.
Exactly. They'll potentially get caught in a trap game, get exposed like crazy, and be clawing back from like the 7 spot, hoping for some wing and a prayer team to lose that's in the top 4 so they can slip into 4.
This year?
No, they don't. Georgia absolutely has no major competition on the schedule. You have Florida, got cleaned out. Auburn, go figure. Yeah, South Carolina likes to give Georgia a run for their money, and we saw, Jake Fromm throw a pick a couple seasons ago and lose that one.
Just a couple of years ago, they lost to him.
Exactly. There's trap games like that. So I'm not impressed by the Dogs. I don't trust them because at the end of the day, when you want to talk about your team truly being set up for success, you have to feel confident facing the best team in the game. That is the Alabama Crimson Tide.
A defensive performance.
And Nick Saban, and that's not going to happen. Georgia's not going that far this year. I'm sorry, fans, but they're not.
No. I mean, like what I know you parallel Georgia fans to being like they generally like all the Atlanta teams. I've actually noticed that there are a crazy amount of Georgia fans that are also Cowboy fans. What? Same people.
It's the same damn toxicity.
Same people.
It's the same toxicity.
Haven't won in decades. Always have the talent. Never get it done.
Exactly. When Georgia went to the national title game, that was their chance to win. They even changed quarterbacks on you. Still had the chance to win. The next year, you're in the SEC title game. They do it again. You lose. The next year, you're in the SEC title game. You lose again. The next season, you're in against LSU. You lose again. There's no more time left for the Dogs. There's not. Until Kirby Smart is not the coach. Sorry, I'm going Mark Richt on him now. Until he is not for the Bulldogs, I'm sorry. He is not going to lead them. It's just like Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. Until Jerry is not at the helm, the Cowboys will not go anywhere. So I'm actually really happy that you brought that up.
Yeah.
The Dogs are fool's gold. Don't eat the cheese, fans. They're not going anywhere. Don't put any money on Georgia, please. Not right now. Not right now.
They're the same fans, and Georgia and the Falcons keep picking the same coach.
Exactly.
Mark Richt, Kirby Smart, Mike Smith, Dan Quinn.
And you just want to run Justin Fields out of town. That you know that is so embarrassing because Justin Fields is going to be a top player in the NFL within the next half decade, and every Georgia fan is just going to have to sit and weep and bitch and moan, and it is all Kirby's fault. All Kirby's fault.
Oh, they are. So, I mean, before we get the 8-4 Kobe break, will Clemson be able to rebound from this loss to actually make it back into the playoff?
I think because of the really soft schedule, again, yeah, but, I mean, you look, DJU was really overhyped, and yes, he did go against a great Georgia defense at this point, but still, I mean, he was not effective at all. You know, first game of the season, you've got Clemson coming out here, getting cleaned out by the draft, so it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a process for Clemson to get back to the top. At this point, I really don't know if I trust them over in Ohio State and definitely not over in Alabama right now. I mean, it's so up in the air, but it's like I said, it's the Tide and everybody else. So even if we're talking about Clemson making a run, Alabama's winning it all this year. I mean, it's solidified.
Oh, not even about them actually winning a title, just even making a playoff is kind of slim because of the rest of their schedule. They don't play anybody.
Yep.
They got South Carolina State next. Then they get Georgia Tech, North Carolina State, Boston College, Syracuse, Pitt. Please stop me when we name a real football team.
Pitt with Margaret.
Florida State. They might lose to Florida State.
Right.
Louisville, UConn, Wake Forest. Is this basketball?
Right.
This ain't the damn Sweet 16. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
South
I don't know.
Carolina.
I feel a trap game at the back end of that schedule. Those last 3-4 you just named, I feel a little bit of a trap game in there just for a Clemson team.
But they don't have Virginia Tech. They don't have Miami. They don't have North Carolina. They don't play Notre Dame this year. Their schedule's so weak that they might not make the playoff. They're going to need somebody to lose.
Right.
They're going to need Georgia to blow a game. They're going to need Ohio State to blow a game.
Which they could.
They'll need Oklahoma to blow a game. And they'll need potentially whoever comes out of the Pac-12 to not be undefeated.
Yep.
I mean, if Oregon goes undefeated, if UCLA goes undefeated, if SC goes undefeated, any of those teams are going to go in over Clemson because of they lost to Georgia and their schedule is just god-awful, terribly weak.
Yep.
But that's what time it is. It's 8:24. We got to pay homage to the late, great Kobe Bean. It's a football show, but you know Kobe liked football. He was an Eagle fan. We're not going to talk about them, but he loved the game. Count us down.
3, 2, 1. Kobe. 824. You know, 24 is my favorite number, man. Always has been. And the late, great was the number 24. Kobe Bean. That guy.
8 and 24. All day, every day. Got to pay homage to the guy. Mike Beasley. Take us away. Let us know who pays these bills around here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for that little technical difficulty we just had right there, but welcome to the show. We thank you so much for tuning in. You tune in to Petty Sports Wednesday Night Edition, brought to you by Kings Broadcasting Studios. Go check us out on the different podcast platform, Apple, Google, Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like, follow, share, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, iHeartRadio. We all over the place, man. So just type in Petty Sports. Whenever you go to any of those platforms, check us out, support us, share. You know what I'm talking about? Call your friends, neighbors, and co-workers. Text them. Let them know it's that time. These guys are going in. They at the table doing what they do. Drink good, smoke good, talk big shit while they covering the sports world. You know what I mean? So thank you so much. We love you guys. Do feel free to call in at 678-871-9602. That's 678-871-9602. That's how you can be a part of the show tonight. We'd love to hear from you, your opinions and so forth. Wesley, Jamila, Miss Sharper, and the other Miss Sharper. We see y'all out there. We appreciate y'all tuning in tonight, man. What's up, YPK? See you too, baby boy. Yeah. Thank you. Back to the regular scheduled program.
Yes, sir. We going back to NFL action. It's time for the Petty Sports preseason NFL awards. We're going to let you know who is winning each one of the major football awards for the upcoming season. So we're just going to jump right into it. Adam, who you got winning MVP this season?
Well, I think from all the episodes we have done together, Mr. Famous Facts Fees, I think you can take a really great educated guess and know that I'm going to go with Josh Allen for this year. I think with him and Stephon Diggs emerging as a duo last year, I think that's just going to replicate for them this year. They've got an actual full off season. They've got some continuity already. And we saw what Stephon Diggs immediately was able to basically get to a height, an elite part of his career as if he already wasn't with that, with Minnesota. And then, Josh Allen, the way he emerged last year, I think he's going to be stronger with the run game this year, knowing that he's going to have a little more of a presence, with his legs. And then you bring in Emmanuel Sanders from the Saints as another great target for him. He's still got Cole Beasley. And then you take a look at them bringing in the speedster Breda. Yeah, he might not be but a second or third string running back, but if you put him in on the right play and he starts to grow that chemistry with Allen, I think that could potentially solve, some of the running game issues. I know Zach Moss is still kind of recovering out there, and Singletary is going to be a piece as well, but I do have Josh Allen taking home the MVP this year, and it's going to be a close one. I could see him and Mahomes fighting it out, but I think Joshy beats him out for sure.
Oh, you say between Josh and Mahomes, I got a whole different guy for you.
Right.
I think the NFL MVP this season is going to be none other than a 44-year-old Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. He has a stacked roster, a weak schedule, a year under his belt. The rest of the team has that swag and that confidence. They're like, hey, he walked in here and it was all a myth. Like, is he really that guy? And he came in and he actually did it. He delivered you a ring. They're about to drop a banner tomorrow night. I think he's going to have one of the best seasons statistically of his entire career. The MVP is going to go to Tom Brady for none other than the fact that his numbers and his team's record will absolutely just hand it over to him.
Right.
Because as we've seen, he doesn't have to lead the league in passing or touchdowns. He has to have comparable stats and a better record.
Yep.
And that'll get it done.
Yep. Especially with him being Brady. I mean, he's already taken quite a few home, so it's going to be nothing to, get that one. Well, number 4 for Brady?
Yeah, that'll be number 4.
Yep.
Just be more to add to the list.
And then 4th Super Bowl MVP is coming. I'm sorry, that's coming, ladies and
Oh, no,
gentlemen.
he already has those. He's got 4 of those already.
Oh, well, number 5 is coming in. There we go.
If I'm not mistaken, he's got 5 of them.
Well, then
Yeah, in
10
7 Super Bowls,
fees.
he's got 5 Super Bowl MVPs.
He's a monster.
Edelman got 1, and Deion Branch got 1. He
Yep.
he got all the rest of them. So he's got 5.
Yep.
I had to roll back in the Rolodex on that real
Right.
quick.
Hey, I know you had it.
Yeah. This man, next Coach of the Year. Who you got winning that award? I mean, that could be a tricky one for this season.
Absolutely. And I'm going to bring up a gentleman that I feel like has really showed us the last couple of years that he is able to seriously bring his team together when your main leader goes down and you have to bring someone into their position to carry this team on. Yeah, I am talking about Sean Payton for the New Orleans Saints, bringing in Jameis Winston, having to really restructure this entire roster. And a part of me thinks that this Saints team, when you look at the coaching that's going to be with them, the weakness of the division outside of Tampa, Sean Payton the last 2 years has lost 1 game. without Drew Brees as his quarterback. If he goes to win 8 to 10 games this year, potentially sneaks in as a wild card in the NFC, I don't know how you can't look at him. He was about to be on my coaching hot seat had we not had to completely redo the roster, come $100 million out of debt. I mean, it felt like it was the rinse and repeat with Sean Payton, but he was still being a great coach. But I think this year, because everyone said, oh, and I know as a fan, before Brees and Payton, the Saints were nothing. Brees is gone now. Peyton is still there. Let's see if he can massage some of this pain for the Saints and potentially put them in the wild card. So I'm taking Sean Payton with Coach of the Year.
It sounds like a Hurricane Ida pick.
It could be. It could be. You never know. Yeah, but you don't have a last time Hurricane came in.
The Homer goggles are strong with that one. If he wins 8 games, I mean, hell, Bill Belichick should have been considered
9 to 10.
year.
He definitely could have. Bill would have won 10 games. He probably would have got Coach of the Year, honestly.
No, he wouldn't have. They didn't do anything. It's like it would be ludicrous to even think about Sean Payton for that award if they go about 500.
10-7.
No, not happening. Kyle Shanahan, absolutely. The team only won 4 games last year. He was without his quarterback. Granted, most of the roster was hurt.
Yep.
He has been like widely renowned as one of the best coaches in the league. His teams have not been doing what they're supposed to do. He comes in now with a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's looking at flushing Jimmy out and putting Trey Lance in. If he takes this team to what I predicted them at a 14-3 record, coming off of 4-12, I don't think there's any way that Kyle Shanahan does not win Coach of the Year. I mean, you go from picking in the top 5 of the draft to now being potentially a 2 seed in the NFC and a contender for the Super Bowl. Like, that's a massive turnaround, and everything is going to be in his favor for him to get there. I mean, the other coaches that are going to have teams that are on that level were already that good, so they won't get as much credit for any type of turnarounds.
Exactly.
But to go from 4-12 to winning massive double digits, like they win 12, 13, 14 games coming off a 4-win season, he's got to be Coach of the Year.
That would be
There's
huge.
no question.
That would only be his second winning season, right? As a head coach for San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yep, because the 1 year was with Jimmy, and that's when they went.
Yeah, Jimmy's only been healthy for 1 year. He's been the coach.
It's a bad look on Shanahan. It really is. Like if people said hot seat for him, I probably wouldn't argue. I mean, you look at the facts, and it's like, it's unfortunate, but hell, you're just pissing in the wind at that point. You're just wasting time. I mean, it's unfortunate, but they're going to have to get the job done. It's a business.
Well, I mean, with all of his people back healthy, this could go easily from Coach of the Year to hot seat.
Right.
It's one side to the other.
Yep, it's a double-edged
If they're
sword.
bad again, he's going to be on his way out.
Yep.
If they do what they're supposed to do, they'll be like, I told you, he didn't have the personnel.
Right. He's like right on that perfect Mendoza line.
Yeah. But I think he's going to actually come over on the plus side.
Right.
And Jesus Christ, if Wesley Davis does not stop typing Derrick Henry's name into the chat, I'm going to just give you a side note before we move on to the next person. He said he was going to pick Christian McCaffrey with the first pick, and I told him at that moment, if you don't pick Derrick Henry first, I'm going to block you from Petty Sports. I will never acknowledge you saying anything about Derrick Henry ever again. You're always talking about, oh, nobody can stop him. He's going to over 200 yards in every game, and you get the first pick in the fantasy draft, and you're like, oh, but give me Christian McCaffrey, though. Seriously? Like, I guarantee you, I shamed you into picking Derrick Henry first. Whoever got Christian McCaffrey, you're welcome.
Cornered. You are taking him.
Now, back to the regularly scheduled program. Defensive Player of the Year, who you got?
Defensive Player of the Year. When I was starting to dig through this one, you look at some corners, you look at some pass rushers. I was even thinking potentially about picking a linebacker because this linebacking class has the core around the NFL has become pretty strong. These linebackers are getting really athletic, really big, but I'm going to take a little bit of a turn here. Give me Jalen Ramsey from the LA Rams. I think this man being potentially the best corner in the NFL. We've seen what he can do to a DeAndre Hopkins, to a Stephon Diggs, to a DK Metcalf. Like, Jalen Ramsey plays mind games with these people, and the way he can jump inside their head, completely throw an elite receiver off their game. I mean, it really reminds me of when you look at the coverages from 10, 15 years ago when these dudes were extremely physical, extremely aggressive, and he'll keep up with the speed. He'll push around a big receiver, or he'll even, bully up on a small guy. I think with Jalen Ramsey having all this awareness around the Rams, Stafford's already going to keep a huge eye on them. Aaron Donald's coming off of a major year. 3 out of the 4 years he's been defensive player. I think Jalen Ramsey can pick up on some of that wave there and take home this hardware this year.
But I think the only thing that he's got going against him is the fact that the best defensive player in the league is on his team.
Right.
So he's not the best defensive player on his own team.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to look past
It's
it. But
damn near impossible for you to win the award when there's a better guy on your roster.
it's like JJ and Aaron Donald with the same voter fatigue. Like, I understand why Aaron got it last year because of the double team, but I think Jalen is seriously deserving of this award if he comes out and performs again with this LA Rams team. Absolutely.
I think this award is going to go to Myles Garrett. The Cleveland Browns have emerged as a legit heavyweight contender, and it has a lot to do with the defense.
Yep.
I mean, as much as people scoff at Baker Mayfield, Baker is probably the last of any list that you would rattle off as to why you think Cleveland is as good as they are. It starts with that defense. I mean, Myles Garrett in 4 years only had one season where he's been under double-digit sacks. He had 12 sacks last year. Just 2 years ago, he had 13 and a half sacks, and he's damn near averaging a sack a game. I mean, in 51 games, he's got 42 and a half sacks. Now you add Jadeveon Clowney to the other side.
Yeah.
You've got a guy who can potentially take over a game or two. He's not consistent, but when he does show up, he completely changes games. So you've got to be concerned with him to make sure that you're not the team that he takes over.
He keeps you honest.
And when you're worried about him, you just gave Myles Garrett even more opportunities.
Right.
I mean, 12 sacks last year. We have an extra game this year. I think Myles Garrett, he clocks in 17 sacks this year, takes the Defensive Player of the Year award. With a sack number like that, won't matter what Jalen Ramsey does. I'm all in on Myles Garrett for this one.
I love it, man. And I mean, him, being a number one overall pick, and the Browns are going to have a lot of eyes on them this year. We got an award coming later on, and I got to go into a Browns player, so they're going to have a lot of eyes on them. And I think he's lined up very well for it. I agree with you. I almost went with him, but I wanted to change
I'm
up a
here
little
for
bit
that.
for
You
it.
say you picked the Browns player for something. I was really
We'll
interested to see where you went with
see.
that.
We'll see.
Offensive Player of the Year. Who you got?
I'm going with the biggest home run hitter in the NFL right now. Give me Tyreek Hill. I think with Mahomes standing behind, a top 5 offensive line now in the NFL, they get embarrassed in the Super Bowl and go and just completely rebuild with veteran after solid guy after stud on this offensive line. Tyreek Hill had a huge season last year. Great guy in fantasy. And he is my number 1 overall fantasy receiver for this year as well. So if that could just go hand in hand with him, he's a walking touchdown. He'll easily turn a half of a misstep into a score. You have to keep your eyes on Tyreek Hill, whether it's on an end around, potentially a screen, a bubble. If he's on a streak, this guy is probably the most unguardable person in the league. So give me Tyreek Hill for Offensive Player of the Year. I'm really feeling like a 1,1600 yard receiving season, maybe like 17 or 18 touchdowns for this guy. He's going off this year.
Okay, I mean, I can't be mad at that, man. I definitely like Tyreek at the pick. However, I think it'll be the MVP runner-up that's going to get Offensive Player of the Year, because Offensive Player of the Year is usually the consolation prize.
Yep.
If you didn't get MVP, then you get that award.
And you put up some numbers, yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be Josh Allen that gets Offensive Player of the Year. He's not going to win MVP because he's not going to have as many wins as Brady does.
Right, Brady's going to have like
but he's going to
14,
have the
15
numbers.
wins.
With 17 games, he's definitely going to throw over 5,000 yards. He'll have over 40-plus touchdowns. It's going to be a great year for him. But for all the reasons I previously gave you, he's not winning the MVP. So this is what they'll give you is like, hey, I mean, we recognize you, but you can't get the one that you want.
Right.
Like that's the award that they keep giving to Derrick Henry for running for 2,000 yards.
BS, bro. Should have been MVP. Adrian Peterson was MVP and comeback player of the year when he ran for over 2,000 in 2012. What's up with that voter fatigue?
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I guess the quarterback play in 2012 had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, who was his quarterback?
Not even to say his quarterback. I think it was Sam Bradford at the time, or maybe Christian Ponder. One of the other.
It was Christian Ponder. 100%. It was Christian Ponder.
But outside of that, I mean, I'm just talking about the rest of the league. Like nobody put up historic numbers.
Right.
So then they left the door open for a running back to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody throws over 5,000 yards and their team has a better record, I don't care what your running back does, he's not getting the award.
Right. Yeah.
Just
Unless he runs for like 2,700 yards, when there would just be no way but to not give it to him.
Yeah, and we know that's not happening.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man. So offensive rookie of the year. This could be interesting. Who
Yes.
you taking?
Yes, absolutely. So my offensive rookie of the year, I am going to give it to Justin Fields. And I know this kid potentially isn't going to start for a few weeks, but when you talk about a true prototype quarterback coming into this league, when you're talking about a little dash of Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and maybe a Cam Newton or a Josh Allen with the strength and how well they can push the ball down the field and be strong going across that line of scrimmage on a scramble, I look at Justin Fields with all aspects of that. I mean, yes, the kid had a few shaky times in the preseason, and I hate that he's not getting the week one nod, but I also don't want him to really get crucified in week one, kind of like Tua did with his first start and just getting absolutely blown out of the pocket with Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers. I would hate to see that for Justin Fields, but when you talk about a kid that really has a lot of potential to be a major star in the league, potentially in his second year, I mean, when you talk about how Mahomes got into the scene, when you talk about how Lamar Jackson got onto the scene, you really take a look at Justin Fields. I don't see that kind of swagger from Trevor Lawrence. I don't see that out of Trey Lance. Definitely not Zach Wilson. I got to go with Justin Fields for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, I'm not mad at that at all, but I don't think he'll play enough games to take the award.
Yeah, that is the only downside. I think he would have to jump in by, I think he's starting by week 3. I think Andy Dalton gets 2 weeks and the fan base is raising hell with Matt Nagy. They're threatening his contract.
I don't think he'll play enough games, and I don't think his team will win enough games. I think the offensive rookie of the year is going to be Mac Jones. He's going to start
the
all
Homer goggles are real. I just kidding.
He's going to start all 17 games. I mean,
that is true.
Look at the situation he's in. If you're talking about the difference between Mac, Zach, Trevor, Justin, and Trey, Trey's not playing probably until halfway through the season.
Right.
Justin's team isn't going to win enough to outlast his total.
10 wins.
Trevor's team is going to be trash, and we know the Jets aren't making the playoffs. Mac Jones has the potential to not lead this team to 11 or 12 wins, but manage them to it.
Right.
Because he has the best coach and the best supporting cast of any of the rookies that have the potential to win this award.
Yep.
If Trey Lance had played football last year and walked into San Fran and he was a starter from the beginning, then I absolutely would have picked him. He's not ready. He's not going to play enough games. Even if he comes in week 8, week 9, and he blows the league away, the sample size will be too small for him to take that award. Mac is going to be there from day one. He's going to have double-digit wins, and that'll easily be enough for a rookie quarterback to win that award. They win double-digit games. He takes the New England Patriots to the playoffs. He's getting Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Respect it. Mac's got a great chance.
I mean, when they got rid of Cam and pronounced him the starter, he also won that award.
Yeah, he got projected. You really just slipped that in there. I heard his Rookie of the Year odds shot up to second overall when Cam got released and they named him starter for week 1. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a hell of a season for Mac Jones.
Second behind who?
Probably Trevor Lawrence. I've seen Trevor Lawrence at the top of everything, but I just don't think Trevor's going to get it. Trevor's going to go through a major physical check, mental check, environmental check overall, and it's like, I mean, if this dude wins 4 games but throws for 4,500, can you really name him over a Justin Fields that could at least win 8 in Chicago? I mean, let's be real. Or a Mac who's going to, like you said, 11, 12 potentially managing them there.
He plays 17 games and they win 11 of them. And he has an outlandish, he might win those 11 games, and even though he might not throw for a lot of yards, he'll probably have over 100 passer rating.
Right. Trevor Lawrence will have to win 10 games in order to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
And we know there's no way in hell Jacksonville's winning that many games. He can't win an award.
Right. Jacksonville's ceiling is 4 games, 5 maybe.
Yeah. It's been Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who you got?
Yes, sir. This is my Browns player. We know a lot of eyes are going to be on this Browns team this year. Give me Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, Colin Jock for short, major guy with a bunch of speed. And you talk about, the Cowboys having Micah Parsons, but the Cowboys are not going to have a great defense this year. We're going to be talking about Dak with them. We're going to be talking about the offense and Jerry Jones taking the spotlight again. When you talk about the Browns really being a heavyweight contender, like you said, You're talking about potentially the best front seven in the NFL next to a Tampa, next to a Washington, next to potentially a Baltimore, And when you look at how he's going to be able to play at the line of scrimmage, be in some coverages early on as a rookie to show people, hey, I can be versatile. I can play in coverage, but I can also hit the hole. I can also blitz and bring some pressure when you need me to. So I think with all of the eyes on Cleveland, plus, this guy is a stud. Absolute steal for Cleveland. And I think I said they won the draft, and I think you might have seconded it with the Bears, which is very true. So give me Jock for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, I don't see that happening with Myles Garrett out there. You're not going to have the Defensive Rookie of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year on the same team.
But think about it.
It's going to overshadow.
So you think if Myles Garrett got it would overshadow Jock for Defensive Rookie?
You're not giving that award to two players on the same team.
But the Saints got it with Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara. They got both rookies.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Hey, but they did it. Yeah, because we special, baby.
Stuff happens sometimes, but it's not going to keep happening.
Stuff happens sometimes. It's just out there. Sometimes they just win the games and they just happen to get there.
Sidney Dean told you even the sun shines on a dog ass some days, but you had to have seen White Men Can't Jump to catch that one.
Oh God!
A Defensive Rookie of the Year. I got Pat Surtain. I think we saw some glimpses of him in the preseason out there in Denver. Denver has a sleeper defense that is really good.
Yep.
Their offense was terrible.
Best secondary in the league, maybe.
And nobody understood how good the defense is. Now with Teddy there, he's going to actually sustain the offense, and they'll be serviceable. And it'll put a spotlight on the defense where he's just not losing them games. Surtain, he'll probably be top 5 in the league in interceptions. He's going to have an impact somewhat similar to what Minkah Fitzpatrick had when he got traded to Pittsburgh. And I think he runs away with Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Rio over here, Nick Chubb, Offensive Player of the Year. That's a good claim. I don't think he provides enough in the passing game. Jamila, Najee Harris. I almost went with him. Rio again said Kyle Pitts. I just don't know if he's going to be able to actually perform it like some of these quarterbacks are. And then Rio's calling you out, bro. Fees, you didn't even like the Mac Jones pick. What's up with this Offensive Rookie of the Year hype now?
I wouldn't explain the pick. I told you I didn't like the pick because I felt like Cam should have got his shot, in addition to the fact that I felt like we should have traded up to get Justin Fields, and you can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
We both just sat here and agreed that Justin Fields could easily be Rookie of the Year if he was actually the starter.
Week 1.
He didn't go to a team as good as Mac Jones, and he's not going to start. This is purely a pick of circumstance and location. I'm not mad at Mac, but I wanted a different quarterback.
Yeah. And it rhymes.
Y'all don't be listening. Y'all don't be listening. You talking about they made on the face that I made when we drafted Mac? I explained it. Y'all just, you didn't listen. You watched the little quick TikTok clip and you ran with that. You watched the show too much not to know better than that.
That is true. Come on, Rio and Wesley and Jamila. We see Arlen here every week.
Disappointed, man. Comeback Player of the Year to round out our NFL awards. Who you got?
I feel like this is going to surprise a lot of people, but when you really start to think about it, it's kind of an obvious one. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey, some people still drafting him as the number 1 pick in fantasy. Kind of crazy to me. I would have taken Dalvin Cook because you don't know if Christian's coming back completely healthy with the injury that he had. But if he does, I feel like, he's the type of guy where it's not going to be lingering with him. He's not going to be, out of the commitment. He's not going to be really knocked off his rocker because we're talking about a guy that had 1,000 in the yard, 1,000 in the air, and, 1,000 on the ground in one of his first few years in the NFL. Major presence. And I feel like with Sam Darnold being able to feed him, it's just really going to increase CMC's value. And this is a superstar we're talking about. This is the best running back in the NFL when he's healthy that we're talking about right now. So I got to go with Christian McCaffrey for Comeback Player of the Year. I think he would absolutely steal this award.
I think Christian McCaffrey could be the true Comeback Player of the Year. However,
but all the hype is going to
will not do it. It's going to go to Dak Prescott.
Yep.
If the Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East, it's going to all be because of Dak, because of his $75 million contract.
Yep.
They're going to give that award to Dak because he came off injury and he plays the most important game in the most important position in the game. It's absolutely going to be Dak, even though Christian McCaffrey might be a better pick, it's still going to go to the quarterback. Yeah. Just like the MVP award, if there's a quarterback that does something, he's winning it.
Right. And here's the thing, like I thought last year was a lock for Cam Newton to win comeback player. Hell no. I would bet if I had $100,000 to bet that Dak Prescott would win the comeback player of the year award, I would. That's how confident I am. There's no way he doesn't win it. America's team, he's Dak, the contract extension, being a quarterback for the, I mean, it all adds up. If the dude wins 6 games, he's going to get it. I mean, there's no way he's not.
Well, I mean, yeah, 6 games might win that trash division.
Cowboys aren't winning it.
Yeah, man. So I think G got a graphic for us, man. Let me see what all our picks look like all together.
Yeah, we got them all piled up for you guys, so you can see from the MVP, Coach of the Year, Offensive Player,
My picks,
Defensive
Adam's
Player.
picks.
Hey, either one, man. You can throw Fees first. All the Fees' picks here. You can run
All
down
our
them again
NFL
real quick.
awards.
Put them on the record. That way people know.
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like. Right
Yes,
at the top
sir.
of the pyramid, Tom Breezy. We got Kyle Shanahan, Myles
Go,
Garrett,
Brady.
Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Mac who?
Jones.
Yes, sir. And Patrick Surtain the second. Not
I'm so
Junior.
happy we did that draft show because your face was priceless. Oh, God. Your face was great. That was great
Unlike the
content.
rest of the ignorant folks, he's my quarterback, so I'm going to ride with him. So, I mean,
Right.
if you can say what you want to. He's the starting quarterback for my team. I'm going to ride with him.
Yep, that's right. All right, Gary, here we go with all my awards here on the screen. So, yep, at the top, you see Josh Allen, of course, been talking about him for MVP. Sean Payton's done so much the past few seasons, and I feel like this will be the year he really puts the league on notice as being, one-of-a-kind coach. Tyreek Hill, biggest home run hitter in the league, great offensive line over there. Patrick Mahomes being his quarterback, that's very self-explanatory. Jalen Ramsey, I think, in my opinion, is the best corner in the league. Some people talk about Jair, maybe Stephon, but I think Jalen, with what he's been doing, getting in people's heads, got to give it to Jalen there. You also look at Christian McCaffrey, comeback player of the year, no explanation needed. Justin Fields for my offensive rookie, and then Jock for the Browns. A lot of eyes going to be on Cleveland, and he's going to take home the hardware. So glad we're on record for this. All the awards predictions are out. We got so much more to get into in the rest of the show.
Oh, absolutely, man. Y'all go ahead and get a screenshot of that. Take a picture. Take some notes. We giving y'all gems. If you want to go ahead and make your early prop bets, these are the ones that's going to win you it's going to win you money.
I'll take 20% cut.
That's what you should do. Definitely drop Petty Sports the cut. Go on the website, donate, all of that good stuff. Speaking of donating, Mike Beasley, let us know who pays these bills one time.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you much for tuning in. You tuning in to Petty Sports Wednesday night edition, 8 o'clock every week. Well, maybe not every week, every other week. We do Wednesday this week. Next week we'll be on Tuesday, but the same bat time, 8 o'clock. Famous Facts Feeds and Adam Lewis at the table like always. And this is brought to you by Kings Broadcasting Studios. And like Feeds was saying, if you want to support and spend some money with your guys, go to Kings Broadcasting. That's Kings with a Z. KingsBroadcasting.com. Go over there, buy some merch. You know, we got tumblers, mugs, hats, t-shirts, hoodies. We got it all, man. You know what I'm saying? So check us out. Go over there. And even at the bottom of the home screen page, we have a big donate button. You can donate some money and help us out to bring forth some of this or keep bringing forth the great content that we try to provide every week. So thank you so much for everybody that's tuning in. The chat room is off the chain. Thank you so much. Big Rio out there. I see you, man. You know what I'm saying? Wesley going in. Like always, do call the Petty Sports Hotline at 678-871-9602. 678-871-9602. That's how you can be a part of the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to hear from you. And go to the different podcast platforms to hear some of the previously aired shows on Petty Sports. Just type in Petty Sports with a Z on the end. You know, we kind of fond of that Z around here, as you can tell. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart Radio, and you can see or listen to all the previously aired podcasts or sports shows that have taken place up till now. And this one will be airing probably tomorrow sometime. So like, follow, share on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff, man. The Book of Face, you know, check us out. We appreciate it. And like always, ATL, ho, back to the regular scheduled program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just like I told you, we was going to give Sha'Carri just a few minutes to shine here on the show today, if that's what you call it. But Sha'Carri got embarrassed in Brussels yet again in the 200 meters. I mean, is this fourth place finish Yet another reason why she should just go ahead and take a break from running actual events and work on her craft?
I have to lean towards because, okay, when you really get into this situation, when you have a young star talking the way they are, they've made history but haven't really cemented themselves, and you look at how old they are. She's 21. She's out here trying to build her brand, and she thinks all this talking to the media and these awful PR moments and coming in, way after in these races is doing something for her, and it's not. We just saw, and I know we're not bringing her up, but it's kind of, comparable to me. We just saw Osaka step away because she's not feeling well. She admitted that she wasn't basically doing okay with losing. If Sha'Carri is actively losing and losing in the matter of PR as well, I definitely think it's time to take a step back and just work on your craft. Really understand who you are. And I'm not one to sit up here and say, fix your personality, go find yourself. But you are clearly not building your brand. You're out here, potentially losing sponsorships with the way you're speaking on camera after some of this. And I understand you want to have the swag. You really want to be that different track star that's trying to emerge in this time, but it's just not working at the moment, and the performance isn't working as well. So I think Sha'Carri could just go back for a little bit, a few months, and then, just get some training, clear her mind, and just really understand that you've got a while to make your mark. You don't have to be so intense up front and, get egg on your face at the end of the day.
I mean, I think she needs more than a few months. I don't think we should see her until the U.S. Olympic trials for the 2024 Olympics. She needs to go back to the drawing board, figure out how to come out of the blocks, because that is her major issue, is the fact that her block work is so terrible. She loses the race as soon as the gun goes off when she's racing against other elite runners.
That's horrible.
I mean, she ran in this race in the 200. She got 4th place, and you're like, okay, well, she didn't get 9th. She ran a 22.45 in that race. So now she lost to the chick from Nambia, and I don't know how to say her name. And Boma, she ran a 21.84. She also lost to Sharika Jackson. That's the third of the Jamaicans that are always roasting her. And she also lost to Dina Asher-Smith. Mm-hmm. Now, the discerning part about this, she got 4th place in a race in which none of the top runners raced in. Elaine Thompson-Herah, who won in Tokyo.
Facts.
She ran a 21.53. That was faster than anybody in Brussels ran. The Nambian chick, I'm not gonna keep killing her name. That's why I'm gonna call her the woman from Nambia. She got the silver in the Olympics. She won that race in Brussels. Gabby Thomas from the U.S. ran a 21.8, way faster than what Sha'Carri ran. She got 3rd place. She got a silver medal in the Olympics. Yeah. She didn't run in Brussels.
Sha'Carri's just not ready for this step yet. She's just not ready to take the spotlight.
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price didn't run. Mary Toulouse didn't run. The time that Sha'Carri ran in this race in Brussels would have landed her 8th in the Olympics. And that's not including the people who beat her in Brussels. She wouldn't even have qualified to be in the Olympics. You would have lost in the heats. Like, man, go sit down somewhere. I'm getting tired of hearing your mouth
snapping.
Why is she talking?
Yeah, I feel you. I 100% feel you. She's like I said, I think this happens a lot with younger athletes. And track is hard. Track is some of the most extreme training, and you might not ever pick up a weight because it's you. In your mindset and in your body, like that's all it is. And I don't think she's reached that point yet to really be able to have that spotlight, because like we talked about with Simone Biles, she goes out there to get judged for 90 seconds. Brady doesn't face that pressure. Jordan never faced that pressure. Kobe never faced that pressure. LeBron never faced that pressure. Derek Jeter never faced that pressure. Dale Earnhardt never faced that pressure.
Sha'Carri created that
exactly from the way she's talking.
She has not a near medal in any Olympic.
4th or what she said? Is that it? 4th fastest?
6th.
Okay, 6th fastest ever. Like I said,
not 6th fastest time, 6th fastest person. That's the difference,
right?
The 5 ahead of her have run 1,000,000 times faster than anything she's run.
Right.
She's the 6th fastest on the clock times.
Right. And like it was funny. Like you told me before the show, sometimes things happen. That's kind of how it feels with Sha'Carri right now. Sometimes things happen.
Man.
She tapped in for that one time, and now it's like, where is the rest of it? I mean, I don't know.
Before we get out of here, I'm going to need to see Sidney Dean on that screen.
I mean, I'm so sorry.
Give me Wesley Snipes with the bicycle hat tilted up.
I'm sorry, man. Like, that's just how it is. It's not her time yet. It's not. Your brand will get there. You will grow. You will develop. You will find your niche. You will find your wave. You will get that call or that moment to change your life. It's just not right now.
We would stand behind her if she would shut up.
Or if she was talking all the shit, but
deliver.
Exactly, and would just deliver, and would just win. That's where I'm at with it.
One or the other. Deliver or shut up.
Yep. Highly agree.
I can't with it. We're too petty around here to be like, no, but, she's an emerging young. Like, no, you talk too much.
And you can't make an excuse for anything when it comes to, like, when it's track, it's you, the cleats, the blocks, and the ground. There's no equipment. There's no helmet. There's no, I tweaked this, or you wouldn't be out there. If you're out there, you're healthy. And she's not performing. It's unexcusable.
Her hair wasn't even blowing back this time. She just wasn't running fast.
And I'm sorry. She went and got new hair. And, oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is. Sidney Dean, baby. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's so pretty. You got to give it to him one time. One time for Sidney Dean. We going Sizzler.
Oh, my God.
So, man,
all the way like that.
So, man, we reached the top of the hour, man. It's 9 o'clock.
We've already had...
The show is going hot.
Yes, man. Someone call in, please. 678-871-9602. Mike Bell. Think you got it, brother. Top of the hour. Let's hit it.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Everybody that's in the chat room, thank you so much. Everybody that's sharing the show, thank you so much. Without you, there is no us. So big shouts out to you guys who tune in every week. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Pump your chest up a little bit and pop your collar. You know what I'm saying? We see you out there supporting the crew like that every week like you do. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Like always, go check us out on the different platforms. You know where they at. iHeart, Google, Spotify, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, Book of Face, Instagram. Get there. Like, follow, subscribe. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to that Petty Sports page. And, you know what I'm saying? Help drive some of these numbers and keep supporting the content. And keep sharing. Sharing is caring. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a little COVID-y out here, a little 19 thing going on with the variants, but we kind of safe around here. You know what I'm saying? So it's you can't catch it clicking a button. You can share that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the wonders and beauty of technology. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Do call in 678-871-9602. The number has not changed. All right, 678-871-9602. 9602. That's how you can be a part of the show tonight. You can call in and talk to the guys, you know what I'm saying? Shoot your shot and watch it get shot down, you know what I'm saying? Because the only opinion in here really matters is what's going on over here at Petty Sports, All right, ATL Ho, back to the race schedule program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are now live for hour number 2 of Petty Sports, the podcast with your boy, the host, Famous Fees. They call me Facts. My man, Adam, holla at him.
What is going on, everybody? You already know what time it is. Hour 2, Wednesday night, Petty Sports, 8 p.m. If you are in the right place, you got to be here. So much NFL content coming up. Y'all have to call the show, though. You thought the first half was great. Nah, the second half is where it's really going down. 678-871-9602. Like Mike Bell said, get into the show. Get into the chat. Give us your take. Facebook, you're doing great. YouTube, doing fantastic also. But we want to have you in the show tonight. Give us a call. Fees, let's go ahead and kick it off, man. I mean, hour 1 was great. I forgot there was hour 2, but we're just cruising,
Hey,
let's
man,
go.
Hour 2 starts off with a quote. Just like you said, the other Miss Sharper, that's my sister right there. Said, pride goeth before the fall. She needs some humility. Yep. Sha'Carri, Monica has spoken. That's what it is.
Agreed.
Go ahead and seek some therapy. And Mike Beasley, he stole the cherished word, COVID-y. That was too funny.
That was great, yeah. That was great.
It was absolutely COVID-y.
Best sponsor break ever. Best sponsor break yet.
Yeah, man. So
like
hour
that.
number 2, we're going to kick this thing off with our playoff predictions.
Oh, yes, sir.
We're going to start off with the NFC, so I'm pretty sure you're going to get some homer picks from over there. But it's all good, though. So, Adam, let everybody know, where are you going in the NFC in the playoffs this year? Take us from 1 to 7. Who's going to the divisional round? Who's going to the NFC Championship game?
Absolutely. So,
But don't tell us who wins it.
Okay, absolutely. You got it. So, number 1, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have these guys going 15-2 on the season. I mean, there's not much we can say. Returning 22 starters. Tom Brady coming off an amazing year. Set up for another amazing year. Continuity. AB is back. I mean, there's not much we could say. So, Tampa Bay, number 1. Number 2, give me the Seattle Seahawks at 13-4. I think they win the NFC West. They will be the second best team in the NFC this year. Russell Wilson's going to cook, of course, and Pete Carroll is on my hot seat, as you guys heard from the video we put out today. Went live with it last week. I think he's got to come up with more creative schemes. Has to get this team on a different wave. Has to get them an advantage in this NFC West. But I do think Seattle does have enough in the tank to win the NFC West this year. Now we go to the Packers at the 3 seed. They're going to be 11-6. They're going to win the NFC North there for you. And, there's not really much to say there. Maybe the Bears could sneak up, but they're not going to win the division. Not worried about the Vikings. The Lions are probably the worst franchise and team in the NFL. So 1 through 4, give me the Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, 1 through 3 there. Number 4, winning your NFC East, NFC least division if we do so. Say the
Absolutely.
Washington football team, they will be going 7-10. I think their defense in that division is really going to be a powerhouse for them. Yeah, Fitzmagic might give you 4 to 6 games and then fall off, and we might see some Heineke or a bunch of Antonio Gibson, but these guys have great talent. They have a great front 7. They've got receivers. They've got backs, and, it makes you wonder. With the quarterback position, again, people were getting mad at us in the comments, but look, Chicago was right next to you, and they went and got Justin Fields. There's no excuse for Washington. So your division winners are going to be the Buccaneers, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Washington football team. Now we go to the number 5 seed. So I have the Seahawks beating the Rams in the head-to-head, which puts the Rams second in the division. Give me the Rams at 13-4 for the 5 seed in the NFC West. Absolutely. I'm feeling very confident Matthew Stafford at the moment. I feel like with Robert Woods, you're going to be taking a look at some Sony Michel, and this defense is really going to be the bigger story of the Rams than the offense will be. And they're going to be there. They're going to be there hanging tit for tat with San Francisco. They're going to be going back and forth with Arizona, absolutely. Seahawks. There's going to be a lot of fight in this division, but I do have the Rams coming out as another player in this in this playoff picture. Now, going on to the 6th seed. Again, the NFC, the way it rolls out, it takes you a minute to really understand who is going to really make a push when it comes to the end and really round out these playoffs. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals. I have them going 11-6. I think Kyler Murray is going to have a fantastic season. Christian Kirk is still there. DeAndre Hopkins brought in an A.J. Green, and I don't know if A.J. Green is going to be great, but I think Kyler Murray is going to be a top 5 to 7 quarterback this year. Already had him there in my rankings. J.J. Watt, again, is old. We've talked about this. Cardinals fans got on us. But if he's able to actually perform, if J.J. Watt can truly perform, and put a presence on this line with a Chandler Jones, with another pass rusher, with another linebacker, with another safety that they still have out there in that budding defense, the Cardinals have a chance in this division. I've got them at number 6. And then, yes, here comes your homer pick, sir. Number 7, I am taking my New Orleans Saints. I have them going 10-7 to round it out. I don't see anybody else in this conference truly winning more than 10 games, being able to move up in their division, competing with the coaching of the Saints, the defense of the Saints, the resiliency of the Saints. And this is why Sean Payton is going to get his recognition busting through this year and winning his 2nd Coach of the Year award. So 1 through 7, I'll let you hit yours before we move on to the rounds. I've got Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, Washington, Rams, Cardinals, Saints for your 1 through 7 in the NFC playoff picture for this coming season.
Damn, you got San Francisco at last in the NFC West.
Yep.
And you gave a Jamal take with the Saints.
I do not trust I'll tell you right now, I feel really bad for Niners fans. I feel really bad because you were talking about Shanahan earlier. I don't know what the Niners are going to do this year, but I don't trust them to be a 10, 11, 12 win team. 9 games probably at the most if we're really talking, because what is Jimmy G? I don't trust him to stay healthy. Trey Lance was looking rough. I'm telling you, people don't realize this yet. But the 49ers are going to be in a world of hurt when they least expect it, and they're in the NFC West. The Cardinals aren't backing down. Kingsbury might be bad at coaching, but Kyler Murray's going to carry this team, and that's why they're making the playoffs over the 49ers.
Ain't that damn good either. But,
they're going to be that damn good this year and be it over the Niners.
49ers, y'all bring it in here. I got you. I'm going to bring the reason.
Huddle up.
First place in the NFC will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, no one is disagreeing with that. I got them at 16-1. I mean, it's hard to really fathom them actually even losing any games. You got to pick them to lose one because 17-0 is just a little bit absurd. But give me Tampa at the 2 spot. I've got the San Francisco 49ers winning the NFC West, unlike what he's talking about. I've got them at 14-3,
sketchy quarterback
winning the division. Number 3, Green Bay. We do agree on the 3 spot.
Yep.
Green Bay will win that division. The division is not that good. So Green Bay will have another impressive season. They'll come in. They'll host a wild card game at the 3 spot. Winning the NFC least, I've got the Dallas Cowboys. It's not a badge of honor. The division sucks. Somebody has to win it. I mean, it is what it is. You got to pick somebody.
Yeah.
One of those teams has to come out and win it.
I don't trust
Dak
McCarthy.
is actually back playing with him at the helm for the entire season. Feel like Dallas is better in the long haul than the other 3 teams in that division, but it's still tight. In the 5 spot, I've got the Seattle Seahawks, who will be second in the NFC West. I had them finishing at 13-4, just 1 game behind San Francisco. So they'll be playing at Dallas for the wild card. In the 6th spot, Washington football team. Their defense will carry them into the playoffs. So I think the NFC will again be a division where you don't have to have 10-plus wins to make the playoffs. So even though we called them the NFC least, they're gonna get 2 teams into the playoffs because the Washington football team is better than the Saints. And at the last spot,
absolutely not.
The last spot,
absolutely not.
They're going to moonwalk in one more time, just like they did last year, 8-8. The Chicago Bears are going to backpedal into the playoffs in the very last spot to end up playing San Francisco in the wild card and getting blown out ultimately. So in the divisional round, I've got Tampa hosting Seattle, San Francisco hosting Green Bay. I've got the two top seeds winning, Tampa against San Francisco. So I got the Tampa Bay Bucks and the San Francisco 49ers facing off in the NFC Championship game. And you got San Francisco at the bottom of the division. Mm-hmm. 49ers fans, let them have it.
Yeah, bring it on. All right, so talking about the divisional, so definitely I would say it would probably go Bucks-Rams to be a divisional matchup to where Bucks would take it, and then you're probably looking at, oddly, no, I don't think Seahawks-Packers would work. You might be looking at, ironically, Seahawks-Washington for a divisional, which, of course, Seahawks win there, but some people are trying to call Washington for the NFC title game on a sneaky defensive presence, but I don't see it. But there's your little setup for everyone out there that's kind of hoping for it. So has Seattle winning. So I've got Bucks in Seattle in my NFC title game.
Okay. So let's move on to the AFC.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, give me your top to bottom.
Yeah.
You got? What's going on over there?
Absolutely. So number 1 seed is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Have them going 14-3. Thought the Bills were going to edge them out, but when you look at Kansas City's schedule, it just lines up for them. Again, like the Buccaneers, there's no major explanation. You've got Mahomes, you've got Kelsey Hill, all the running backs, the defensive presence is coming around. Andy Reid. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2. We have the Buffalo Bills at a 13-4 record out there in the AFC East, and with the Buffalo Bills, I think that they're going to be able to have some tough games against teams in the division they're not going to expect, like maybe a Dolphins. Maybe the Patriots could move on through them, but I think the Buffalo Bills are going to land in this 2 seed here. Now we talk about the 3rd seed, taking it to the Baltimore Ravens. They will be 12-5 and winning the AFC. The AFC North.
The Chicago
Oh,
To accept, press 1.
we got a call here in the middle of the playoff predictions. Caller. If you can hear me, where are you calling from? What's your name? What state are you calling from, sir?
So, talking about the division, so definitely, I would say it would probably go Bucks-Rams to be a divisional match.
Hey, I can hear you in the background, man. You got to turn me off. This is going to have some interference for us. What's your name? Where are you calling from, sir?
I don't think Seahawks
Oh, they hung up. Okay, well, still got the Ravens at third in the AFC. They will win the AFC North, go 12-5. I believe in Lamar. I believe in Harbaugh. I believe in this rushing attack, and the defense is going to be back on the level that they've been, with the defensive culture of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, number 4, when we're talking about the winner of the AFC South, some people say this could be the worst division in football or the second worst division behind the NFC least. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts winning this division horribly with a 9-8 record, pissing off so many people around the NFL because you're going to have double-digit teams that because of this Colts team making that type of, wedge in the playoffs, they're not going to be able to push through. Now, at number 5, Fees, you came back such in time. I have the Los Angeles Chargers at number 5. Yes, give me them at a 13-4 record. Look at their schedule. Their schedule is so easy, Fees. Their schedule is cupcake for a healthy team in Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Bosa, Derwin James. So many superstars that are coming back healthy for the Chargers. They have a really easy schedule. Justin Herbert,
4?
yes, absolutely winning at 13-4. Number 5, they're going to be coming behind the Chiefs. Their schedule is very easy. Go look at their schedule. I'm telling you, pull up their schedule. Their schedule is extremely easy, and that's what's going to catapult them to that record. Plus, they got all the people healthy coming back. Let's talk about the number 6 seed. Give me the Cleveland Browns at 10-7. I think they're going to come second there in the AFC North. Do have the Ravens winning it, like I mentioned. And, Baker Mayfield and that the running back core being behind potentially the best offensive line in the NFL. I think we have another caller coming in, but let's see if we can get him through. Let's see what's going on. Caller, can you hear me? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's your name? Where are you calling from? You got to turn me off in the background, bro. I'm not able to hear you.
It's Jansen Harris, Georgia.
Oh, Jansen, what's going on, bro? Thank you for calling into the show. You got to turn me down.
Adam, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Turn me down in the background, rookie. Come on now.
Hold on, man. Are we good now?
Pause me in the background, fool. Are you not listening to the show right now in the background? I can hear me talking. My man, there we go. You can pause it and listen back.
My bad. It's a little bit behind. I'm watching on YouTube.
To tell us why the Jets are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, here he comes. Jansen, what's going on, man? Give us your take tonight.
No, I had 2 questions. One question is, what do you think Sean Payton's going to do for the Saints? Because obviously you have him pretty high, making the playoffs.
Yep.
I just want to know the logic behind that. And for Fees, what does he expect from Mac Jones this year?
Fees, I'll let you tackle the Mac Jones question first.
Hey, man, I expect Mac Jones to be a high-level game manager, not asked to do too much. They're going to lean heavily on the run game. That's why they brought in Ramondre Stevenson.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of Damian Harris, like a lot of Harris, Stevenson behind him, dump-offs to James White. That's why they brought in the 2 tight ends, Hunter Henry and Janu Smith.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of short passes,
Fantastic
a lot of reads early. Like, they're not going to put Mac out there to be like, okay, we need you to score us 40 points a game, because he's not going to do that with this offense. But he showed you in the preseason that he can be an elite-level game manager, and that's all they want him to do.
Yep.
Like, they want him to be like Kirk Cousins, who can play when it's not 1 o'clock on the same level. So, I think he can accomplish that, and the defense and the rest of the team can take it from there.
Love it, Fees. All right, so in regards to Sean Payton, it really rides off of, okay, so let's look at the last 2 years. Like I mentioned, he's only lost 1 game with not having Breeze in the lineup. But if we're looking past that, looking into this year, Jameis Winston, at worst, is going to be a top 17 to 18 quarterback in this league, and I can confidently say that. I know he's not going to have a Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara is going to be really dependent, but there is a Marquez Callaway. There is a receiver that we just took in the draft. When you look at the defensive side of the ball, the Saints honestly do have a top 10 secondary still in this league. You look at the defensive line, they're making moves for Bradley Roby coming out of over from the Texans, who is a top pick from his former team in the past. And then you look at how the Saints are always able to adjust when their backs are against the wall. They're not playing in the stadium this year. They have a great chance to upset the Packers, basically being on the road, even though it's going to be counted as a home game. And Sean Payton has been a mastermind. Sean Payton has been a coach for years and years. That's only won the Coach of the Year 1 time. And it was the year after he joined the Saints, 2006, blown out in the NFC Championship game by, or might have been 2007, to the Chicago Bears. And that's when the Saints lost their very first NFC Championship game. It's time for Sean Payton to get his spotlight. If Jameis Winston is able to take this team to a simple 10-7 record and Jameis gets turned around, people are talking about Jameis as a bust. And if he goes top 15 to 18 and does this for the Saints, how do you not look at Sean Payton? How do you not look at his body of work over the past 2 seasons? What he's endured? Absolutely, it's Sean Payton for Coach of the Year. I'm standing on it.
You should be the voice of the city of New Orleans.
I'm here. Louisiana, tune in.
You're bringing hope.
Yeah.
False hope, but hope. Nonetheless, it's hope.
Is that true, genuine hope, baby?
All hope ain't good hope, but hey, you bringing it.
Hey, Jansen, appreciate you calling in, man. You can turn us back on. Listen to the reply. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, no problem. Great show, guys. Great show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for the answers.
Yeah, appreciate you. See ya. All right, Fees. So did have the Browns at 10-7 for the AFC playoff predictions. Named it all out there for them. And then your New England Patriots, I do have coming in at number 7, 9-8 record for the Pats there. And Mac Jones, if he can push to 10 or 11 games, of course that's enough to get into the playoffs. But I think with this 9-8 record, there's a lot of mediocre teams over in the AFC. I mean, when you look in the AFC West, outside of the Chargers and the Chiefs, there's not much competition there.
Forgot about the Chiefs.
Well, that's what I'm saying, the Chargers and the Chiefs. You look outside of those 2 teams, I mean, it's really mediocre talent over there. When you look into these other divisions, the Patriots are going to be there because of their coaching, because of their defense, because Mac Jones is going to be smart, and he's going to put them in a position where Belichick could still make a playoff run. If Belichick gets in at 9-8, anything is possible. You've seen it. Anything will be possible. Give me the Patriots as the 7 seed, number 1 Chiefs, number 2 Bills, number 3 Ravens, Colts, Chargers, Browns, and Patriots for my top 7 seeds in the AFC. There you have it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I'm going to let you know what the AFC is actually going to look like. The 1 seed, just as we've all conceded, will be the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they're definitely... They're the measuring stick of the AFC.
Yep.
I mean, second best team in the league, and it's really not debatable. In the 2 seed, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is going to have another great season behind Josh Allen. He's going to have an MVP level season. Like he's definitely going to be a candidate for it. Probably top 2 or 3 for that award. At the 3 spot, I've got the Cleveland Browns winning the NFC or the AFC North. They will host a playoff game. They're going to continue to progress just as they have been last season. Went to the divisional round. Cleveland has arrived, just like I told you. So, Browns fans, y'all rock with me. In the 4 seed, I got the Tennessee Titans. I know Wesley can breathe now. He was a little bit upset at you. But Tennessee is going to win the AFC South. The division is not good. They've got 2 garbage teams in Jacksonville and Houston. So, that's 4 wins for both of those teams. Easily coming for them. But outside of that, Tennessee is better than the Colts.
Browns at the 7 seed, Jamila?
The Colts will lose to the Titans. The Titans will win the division again. It's not even... That's an easy call.
Patriots over the Bills.
At the 5 seed, I've got New England. New England is going to win 11 games. That will be second place in the AFC East. That will definitely be the next highest seeded team outside of the division winners. So they'll take the 5 seed. At 6, I've got Baltimore. Like I had the Ravens at 9-8. That will get them into the playoffs. They're going to sneak into the playoffs. They'll be tied with the Colts, who I have at 7, but they'll have a tiebreaker because they play them and they will beat them. So head-to-head, they're going to get the 6th seed. I got the Indianapolis Colts backpedaling in at 7. Even though they're not that good, the beginning of their schedule is extremely difficult, and then it gets cupcake for the backside. I think they'll make a late push. They're not going to look like a playoff contender at all until it all unwinds, and all of a sudden the Colts will sneak into the playoffs. So what do you got for the division?
The division, so it's going to be Bills against Patriots, Ravens against Browns, Colts against Chargers. I'm going to take the Bills to win. I'm going to take the Ravens to win, unfortunately upsetting those Browns, making a lot of those Browns fans upset. And then I'm going to take the Chargers over the Colts, which would give me a setup, if I am reading correctly, between the Chiefs and the Chargers. And I would put the Bills and the Ravens in the next matchup. I would take the Chiefs over the Chargers as much as I hate that. And a close one in a rematch, Bills over the Ravens. So you're giving me the Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC title game.
Chiefs and the Bills. Okay, I won't argue with that. It's just you keep throwing me off. You keep putting the Chargers so high. It's
because they're in my seating. He's like, wait, whoa.
It's ridiculous. The Chargers aren't even making the playoffs.
Oh, wow. We got to bet some petty push-ups on that one. I bet 50 on that.
I mean, I'll bet you 50 that the Chargers don't win over 10 damn games. They won't get double digits.
That's a silly bet, Fees.
It's not.
It's a very silly bet,
They're
sir.
not that good.
Don't let me do that to you.
Anyway, for the AFC in the divisional round, I've got the Chiefs hosting the Patriots and the Bills hosting the Cleveland Browns. So I got the Chiefs winning, and I've got the Cleveland Browns winning. So our AFC championship matchup will be Kansas City hosting Cleveland for a rematch of last year's divisional round. So that's how we're looking, rounding out the AFC. So now if we look at both sides, I've got Tampa hosting San Francisco. I've got Kansas City hosting Cleveland. So now we get to the real meat of it.
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl 56 in SoFi Stadium, February 13th, right before Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Who you got?
Give me the Buffalo Bills at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not at, but the Bucs will have the best record in the league, and the Buffalo Bills will be right there. And if we're talking about a winner in this matchup, you have to look at the trenches because the Bills O-line would definitely be at a disadvantage against that insane pass rush from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But then when you look at the Bucs secondary, I think the Bills have the advantage there in the passing game. This could be a Super Bowl where we're talking about like a potential Monday Night Football game where it was Chiefs-Rams a couple seasons ago, potentially the best regular season game ever. This would be a huge scoring fest back and forth because that's the only chance Buffalo would have. They would have to air the ball out. Josh Allen would have to throw for 350, 400 yards in a Super Bowl like this. He would have to find all of his targets. He would have to be efficient because the Bucs could really have the best defense in the NFL. But compared, with the offense they're going to have, that is them bringing all that together for a second year in a row, returning all those starters, is going to be all the reason they're back in the Super Bowl. As much as I want Josh Allen to get that Super Bowl ring, I don't see anybody stopping Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and I have Tom winning number 8, and the Bucs will repeat this year.
Okay, but I've got Tampa Bay against the Cleveland Browns. Yes, the Dog Pound will make it to L.A. this year. I've got Cleveland avenging their loss in the playoffs against the Chiefs. I mean, you've got the Bills beating the Chiefs.
I do.
So, I mean, it's not that big. I mean, Cleveland has a better defense than Buffalo and Kansas City. They have just as many weapons on offense. They have a better running game than both teams. Cleveland has a better roster than everyone not named Tampa Bay. So I've got the Cleveland Browns making it to the Super Bowl. And for all the same reasons that you mentioned, Tampa is just a little bit too poised. But in a matchup against Tampa Bay and Cleveland, it's a little bit more even. It's not that Cleveland has to air the ball out and Baker Mayfield has to throw for 1,000 yards in that game to keep pace with him. Baker's got a defense that's very comparable to Brady's defense on the other side of the ball. So, I mean, it's going to be a chess match. It'll be a lower scoring Super Bowl because of how good both defenses are. They'll get pressure on Brady just so much as they will get pressure on Baker. I see Brady pulling it out because if you're going to call on Brady or Baker to make the play on the biggest stage to win a Lombardi, then clearly we're going with the guy who's already done it 7 times.
Correct.
So, I mean, I'll take Tampa over Cleveland in a tight Super Bowl because outside of the last one where he blew Patrick Mahomes out, every other Super Bowl they played has been within a score outside of that 13-3 one. They're all usually 3-4 point margins. I think this will be another one that's like a 4-point Tampa win. They win like 28-24.
I was literally thinking that, or like 27-21, some crazy stuff like that. Highly agree with you.
It'll be close, but the Tampa's gonna win.
Yep, Tampa's
gonna be
repeating.
another late Tom Brady drive that ices the game, whether it's a drive for a field goal, a drive that just gets a first down that eats the clock. Whatever it is that's necessary, Tom will make it happen.
There's nobody in the NFC that's competing with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers at this point that's going to be that consistent on both sides of the football with an elite quarterback mentally and a great coaching staff and the way that defense is going to emerge. And there's no one in the NFC that can hang with them and that's going to beat them. Tampa Bay is absolutely repeating.
Yeah, I mean, it's damn near unfair. I really don't like it.
Right. 22 starters.
Somebody make us wrong. Jesus. Man, we're going to take one more pause break. We're going to let Mike Beasley tell y'all who pays these bills around here, how you can support black business. And then when we come back, we're going to run through the week 1 predictions and highlight the 5 weekend watch games. I mean, y'all stay tuned. For all of my bettors that y'all tuned in every single week last week, this is the portion of the show that you watch for. I'm going to let you know who going to win. I'm going to let you know why. Let you know where to put your money. Let you know how you're going to get paid. As always, it's $ famous fees. I need a cut for you keep winning money off my picks. Mike Beasley, take them away.
Yeah, man. You might have some takers out there on that, the way this economy moving, bro. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Like always, everybody's in the chat room. We even had a phone call tonight, man. Jansen Harris called in. You know what I'm saying? That's one of our guys we roll with pretty hard. You know what I'm saying? He came in and stood the test. You know what I mean? So,
Shout out to Just Good Network.
yeah, and shout out to the Just Good Network, man. You know what I'm saying? Go check him out. You know, he do his thing over there. You know, he does his own podcast as well. So check him out, Just Good Network. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Z's in that one. But, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You can stay with us over here at King's Broadcasting. Go to Petty Sports, you know what I'm saying, with a Z. Check us out on all the different platforms. We all over the place, man. You know what I'm saying? Follow, like, share, listen, subscribe on Booker Face, YouTube. Subscribe. Keep driving those numbers up, man. You guys have been really off the chain this week. We see the support that's coming through, man. You know what I'm saying? But we'd love to really have you guys support with your dollars as well. So go over to kingsbroadcasting.com. On the homepage at the bottom, you can hit the donate button and contribute a little something or a whole lot of something. You know what I'm saying? It would be greatly appreciated, and that would help us keep bringing forth this great content that you see every week. You know what I'm saying? Support black business, support black businesses, cause we do. You know what I'm talking about? Do call in, you know, still some time left in the show. 678-871-9602, 678-871-9602, and get at Fees and Adam. You know what I'm saying? They made some pretty mean picks up here with this football what do you call it? The World Championship, the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Super Bowl and the teams, the way they got them fixed in the AFC and NFC. I know y'all got something to say about that because I see you in the chat room. So put up or shut up and just call the number. You know what I'm saying? Quit being them keyboard thugs. All right, ATL, ho.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is that time of the program. NFL Week 1 predictions. The NFL is back. I know y'all been ready. I've been waiting on it.
Absolutely.
I've been waiting 6 long months for this.
Oh, yes.
It's all the way back. Week 1 cranks up tomorrow night with the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're dropping their second Super Bowl banner. Who do you like in Week 1? How much?
Absolutely. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is going to be a blowout by Tampa. There's no Zach Martin. Dak Prescott's been battling a lot of adversity in this offseason. You know, Zeke was good last year, but what is it going to be without Zach Martin there with that defensive line from Tampa Bay? I'll be honest with you guys. I'm taking Tampa Bay by 20 plus in this game, and Tampa Bay is going to win handily to open the season.
I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, this is a no-brainer. The Dallas
It's
Cowboys,
Alabama, Miami all over again.
Dallas is bringing in one of the worst defenses in the entire NFL against the juggernaut that just won a Super Bowl, is coming in with a brand new swag, re-signed the entire starting lineup, brought in Gio Bernard, second year in the offense with Brady, had time to actually work in an offseason and a preseason with the weapons. Man, I think this is going to be a massacre. This might be worse than Bama versus Miami. Got the Tampa Bay Bucks winning massively big. Doesn't matter what the spread is, bet on Tampa.
No question.
So we'll move on to the Sunday matchups. 1 o'clock when we really get into the thick of it, when they're playing all at the same time. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Atlanta Falcons. 1 o'clock. Who you got?
Give me the Atlanta Falcons. Now, either team is safe in this game, I feel like, for the pick, but Atlanta is looking for a big win to open the season. You've got Kyle Pitts, you've got Calvin Ridley, you've got some new offensive linemen out there, and you want to see what the Falcons bring out. How is it going to be with Arthur Smith? How are these new schemes going to be? You're going to be looking to employ a Kyle Pitts, like I mentioned, and a lot of people have high hopes for him, but I do have Atlanta winning this one, and I could see it being I'll give it a 3-point victory for Atlanta. It's going to be a close one because Philadelphia's got enough speed and differences to work with Atlanta to make this an interesting game. So I'm going to take Atlanta by 3 in this one.
All right. I mean, that's a very, very close margin. I think Atlanta actually will win by more than 3. I don't think Philly is really actually ready to start the season. As well as I really hope Jalen Hurts does. I mean, he does have a few more weapons at his disposal. The offense is looking decent on paper. When we actually watch them play, they're still in a disarray. Their coaching is off. The offense reflects it. Their defense it leaves a lot to be desired. Atlanta will be able to score early and often. I think Atlanta wins this game by 10+. The Falcons will start the season 1-0. So move on to a marquee matchup. And we actually won't actually cover this one. Just who you got? Pittsburgh at Buffalo.
It is going to be the Buffalo Bills taking this one. And this could be a trap game for Buffalo, I feel like, because their defense is trying to rebound to that 2019 form. And Pittsburgh, of course, is going to be an elite defense this year. We know that with the culture. But they have no offense at the end of the day. I don't trust Big Ben. And,
we're going to dig into that one.
Oh, yes, the Pittsburgh and Buffalo, absolutely.
They're on the weekend watch.
Right, absolutely. Well, I do have Buffalo winning there, for sure.
Yeah, I'm also taking Buffalo in that game. We've got Minnesota at Cincinnati. It's a 1 o'clock game for your boy Kirk Cousins.
It
Who you got?
Oddly enough, give me the Vikings in this one. I think Justin Jefferson's going to come out, have a big start in this game, and Dalvin Cook, I think, is going to eat up that Bengals defensive line and just be able to really take advantage of that front seven. And you do have Burrow and Mixon coming back from injury, but they're going to be shaking off some rust. They're still going to be trying to find their groove, and Jamar Chase has been struggling as well in camp, so I am going to take Minnesota in this one.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's a Minnesota 1 o'clock game that no one will watch that's not a Minnesota or a Cincinnati fan. That is when Kirk Cousins flourishes. The Minnesota Vikings definitely win this one. Dalvin Cook will ball out. Kirk will have a good game, and you'll be like, see, that's why he got his money. He going to leave out of this one talking about, you like that? That's his thing. That's what he going to do.
You like that?
When they play at 1, that's what he says.
Yeah.
So, man, next game on the schedule, San Francisco at Detroit. Jared Goff against his former divisional foe. What do you see here?
Definitely give you the Niners. This is going to be a blowout from an elite defense to potentially the first or second worst team in the NFL. And you might even see some Trey Lance late in this one because that's how lopsided it is going to be. The Niners are probably going to win by 20+, just like Tampa Bay will in week 1.
No, absolutely. I mean, this isn't a game at all. San Francisco is getting a bye week to start the season.
Absolutely.
Detroit has nothing.
Should have kept C.J. Beathard and played him in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. You probably will get Trey Lance because he does need reps. I mean, that'll be good for him. So that would be something to actually watch for. But as far as your fantasy goes, Jimmy might come out of the game. If you actually put Jimmy in your fantasy lineup, he might not play the whole game. Might not be a good look.
Yep.
Arizona at Tennessee. We've got the vaunted NFC West versus the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, with a brand new shiny wide receiver, Julio Jones. Who you got in this matchup?
I am going to take Arizona here because, at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a sneaky good game. These are going to be two big-time offenses that have defenses that are still trying to kind of find their way, but with the Cardinals taking the victory, I think the defense finally pops for the Cardinals this year. But a big story is going to be how do, Henry and A.J. Brown and Julio Jones get along. We're going to see what type of role Julio's going to take, but I do take the Cardinals here, and I think they'll win by 10. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win by 10 in this game.
I think the Cardinals' defense is fool's gold. Derrick Henry will go for 150+ against this team.
Week
and the play
1.
action is going to be a monster. They're going to be keying on Julio. A.J. Brown will also have a big game. Tennessee rolls Arizona.
Ooh.
The Cardinals are not good. I don't know why you're so sold on them,
Kyler.
but you'll see.
I guess I'll have to.
Yeah, Kyler played all 16 games last year, and they won 8 of them. He's not that guy. Next matchup, I'm pretty sure you're going to have the same time. Well, no, I almost skipped one. Seattle.
I see the one afterwards, though.
Seattle at Indy. Carson Wentz should be starting, so they have their full slate of players. Who do you have with Russ cooking and Wentz trying to get redemption?
Absolutely, man. I think it's going to be another awesome matchup, but I am going to take Seattle. I think these are two teams right now that are loaded on both sides of the football, but this one will be decided at the end of the day with the trenches because we know the Colts defensive line is definitely elite in this league. And, the Seahawks have been trying to work out Dwayne Brown and overall what's going to happen with that contract, but at the end of the day, give me Seattle because I think Russ is able to cook enough if he gets enough time in that pocket.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the game actually will be close just because of how good the Colts defense is, and they have a very good running game, which will keep them in the game. It's going to come down to late fourth quarter possessions, and when we get to the fourth quarter, there are not many quarterbacks in the entire NFL that you're trusting over Russell Wilson. Absolutely not Carson Wentz, or definitely not his backup Jason Eason or Jacob Eason. None of those guys. They're not going to get the job done. Think the Colts might actually have the lead coming into the fourth quarter. Russell Wilson will steal this game. Seattle will win. Next matchup, the Los Angeles Chargers at the Washington football team. Still in the 1 o'clock docket. Who you taking?
You already know I'm taking the LA Chargers, man. I think this is the best game of the week, in my opinion. The Chargers are loaded. People coming back with Eckler, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa. You're going to have Justin Herbert coming back in the saddle again. Asante Samuel Jr., who they just drafted. You're going to have Derwin James coming back. And when you look at Washington, they're going to have a defense that's going to be able to hang with LA, but LA's offense is going to be way too high flying. I think they're going to be able to have cracks in that Washington secondary, and I think they take this one by 7 points.
Yeah, that's ludicrous. Washington is going to roll the Chargers.
Not it. Oh, not it.
The defense is entirely too good. They will harass Justin Herbert. He will have his sophomore woes, and you'll also be getting the Fitz Magic game. First game of the season, Ryan Fitzpatrick always shows up. He may go for 300-400 yards. Washington will look like an early favorite to win the NFC least, and people will be all the way on the football team and not the Chargers. Washington will win that game easily. Now we got the grudge match. We call it the buyer's remorse game. The New York Jets at the Carolina Panthers. The rookie, Zach Wilson, facing off against the former quarterback, Sam Darnold. Who you like?
Give me the Panthers. This is a revenge game, like you said. And, I hope Zach Wilson comes out and actually silences the doubters a little more, because I'll be honest, Zach Wilson has just as much attention from me as I'm giving to Justin Fields right now. And you also wonder, what is Robert Saleh going to bring to the table being a new coach? And then on the Panthers side of the ball, Sam Darnold is surely pissed off about all the help in the draft and the free agency moves that the Jets have been able to make. So I think that just really ignites him, lets him look at CMC and Terrace Marshall and all the other wide receivers out there and be able to take this one again by 7 points. Give me the Panthers.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you on this one. The Panthers are going to roll in this game. I think it'll be by much more than 7. The Jets really are not that good. They don't offer much on defense. They made some draft picks. They're counting on a lot of rookies all the way across the board on both sides of the ball to do a whole lot. I mean, I don't think it's going to come together very quickly. I don't think it's going to come together at all, just to be honest. But it's definitely not going to come together on week 1. The Carolina Panthers will roll. Christian McCaffrey, big game. Sam Darnold, big game. Carolina by 14 plus. Woo. Jacksonville at Houston. This is what we would call the toilet bowl.
Yep.
Who you taking in this one?
Give me the Jaguars. They just straight up have more talent than Houston. Better quarterback situation, better wide receiver situation. James Robinson is better than any running back with Houston right now. Defenses are both horrible, but I'd still give it to Jacksonville because Houston is probably going to go 1-16 or 0-17 this year. Going to get a good look at Trevor Lawrence, hopefully, for against some ones against the Houston Texans. Go figure. So give me Jacksonville this one. I'll take Jacksonville by 10 in this one.
I think neither team offers much.
Right.
Think Tyrod Taylor starting with Mark Ingram,
Right.
Phillip Lindsay. Houston, they are bad, but it's not quite as bad as what we think they will be. They do still have Brandon Cooks. They've got a little bit of something. It's enough for them to contend with Jacksonville. I think it'll be a tight game. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the game, but I think it'll be a tight game. I got Jacksonville by 3. Now we move on to the 425 slate, which is a much better slate of games.
Absolutely.
Up first, Cleveland KC. That's on our weekend watch. Who you got?
Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. You're looking at a matchup of two major offensive lines in the NFL. And this is a rematch of the big divisional, but we're going to get into it later. Definitely taking the Chiefs here.
All right, I'm going to take Cleveland in that game. I think they want the game more than Kansas City does, just point blank, period. So we move to the next 425 matchup. The Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. It's the battle of the Alabama quarterbacks.
That is right.
Tua and Mac Jones. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Patriots here. I think Mac Jones has to answer the ultimate call with NFL debut. At home, divisional rival, great defense, held to a very high standard, with that Patriots team. And you look at Brian Flores and Belichick are going to kind of be able to take advantage of some young quarterbacks in the game, but I'm going to take Belichick over Flores any day and give me the Patriots to win this one, probably by 7.
I mean, I'm absolutely taking New England in this game. I think they're favored by like 2.5. I think the spread is entirely too low.
Right. 2.5 is very tight.
The defense that they're bringing out and the way Mac Jones has been commanding the offense, Mac Jones already looks like a better NFL quarterback than Tua. I mean, that's not even saying a whole lot because Tua doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think New England rolls. Just like last year, they beat them 21-10 in the opener. This year, it'll be something similar, somewhere in the realm of like a 27-13 type of game. Green Bay at New Orleans. That's also on our weekend watch. Who you got?
I'm just going to take the Packers here, man. As much as I want to take my Saints in an upset, offense is just straight up better for the Packers. I think the Saints secondary is going to get exposed to a lot of that talent, and Aaron Rodgers is going to probably win by 10. It's going to be a solid 10-point win for the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay that game. Like I just can't fathom it happening any other way.
Saints are not at home either, backs against the wall. It's a lot of stuff for them going on in the offseason.
Last one in the midday matchup, Denver at New York. Facing the football Giants. Who you got?
That's absolutely right. Going to give me the Denver Broncos. And the Giants offense has weapons for Daniel Jones to get out there and make plays. So there are no more excuses for him. But with Denver having that elite defense, you still got Von Miller, who's hopefully going to come back and be effective. But I'll say it right now. I think Denver has the best secondary in the NFL. And they're kind of giving me some no-fly zone vibes right now. Pat Surtain, you got a bunch of other corners over there. Elite safeties as well. You got a Justin Simmons. So they're going to be making plays. And I'm taking Denver in this one, absolutely. Give me Denver by 3, though. This is going to be a great one because the Giants actually have an offense that can perform, I think.
I don't think the Giants' offense will ever actually get rolling. I think once they stop Saquon, they're going to start throwing the ball a lot. Daniel Jones is going to turn the ball over. I think Denver wins this game convincingly. Not by a blowout, but convincingly as far as like they'll win this game by 10 to 13 points.
Right.
I'm taking Denver.
Yep.
Sunday night, massive matchup right here. Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Rams. Who you like?
I'm going to take the Rams in this one. And as much as you would think they are going to win by, 10 to 14 points, I still think Matthew Stafford is going to have to get some time understanding that playbook. Andy Dalton is going to struggle, but I think he'll have glimpses as that Rams defense is just going to be the first game, first week of the first game of the season where these teams are still trying to kind of develop. But I'm going to take the Rams by 7 in this one. I think it's going to be a great game, though. One of the better games of the week for sure. Give me the Rams.
I don't actually think it's really going to be that good a game. I think the Rams just they have way more talent than Chicago. Chicago, if they brought out Justin Fields, they might stand a chance to stay in the game. They're going to start Andy Dalton. They're going to get down by a lot. And if they do decide to bring Justin in, no way he's going to be able to bring them all the way back.
Right.
Because, the Rams aren't going to take their starters out of the game. It's just not happening. I've got the Rams winning this one by 17. Sunday Night Football is not going to be interesting. Now we move on to Monday night. The Baltimore Ravens at the Las Vegas Raiders for the first fan-filled game in Allegiant Stadium.
Big game.
Who you got?
I'm going to take Baltimore in a blowout here. Raiders defense is bad. Baltimore's just too quick. Coaching mismatch, quarterback mismatch, defensive mismatch. Again, like I said, I'm going to take Baltimore by 14 plus in this one, and Raiders fans are going to be really upset after the season opener.
I'm actually going to take the Raiders in this game.
Wow.
They're playing at home. They finally got fans in the stadium. And if you watch last year, the first game that they actually ever played in the stadium, when they played the Saints, they had the stripes on their side.
Yep.
When they play at home, they actually there's incentive for the Raiders to win. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy type of thing, but what I am saying, I'm not betting against the Raiders at their first home game with fans in the stadium in that new stadium in Vegas. Vegas is a city that they want to see win. The Raiders are probably one of the most underrated teams in the league. They have a very good offense. Defense is okay. They do show up from time to time. Like, they're like a 50% of the season. You find like they all sometimes they look good, sometimes they're bad. They'll take the Chiefs out, and then they'll get blown out by the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders are that kind of team. I'm taking the Raiders over Baltimore. Lamar is going to struggle just because there's too much pressure on him. So now with 12 minutes left to go, we're going to move on to the weekend watch. We've got 5 games that we really want to dig into. We didn't actually tear off into these games making our picks. We wanted to give you the picks. Now we're going to actually give you just a few minutes on each one of these games. Major game of the week, tomorrow night, Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What should we look for here?
I think we're going to look for a major domination from that Bucs defensive line because with no Zach Martin, and it was kind of crazy that Zeke came forward and said, "Hey, that's our best player on offense." Okay, Zeke, that's not going to come back well on you. And then you're also going to wonder, how is Dak going to look? Is Dak going to be able to take over and be explosive and push the ball down the field and get his Cowboys into position to win against the repeating Super Bowl champions? Absolutely not. I think it's going to be a bunch of trench domination, and the Cowboys defense is bad. They might get torched for 400 passing yards by Tom Brady in week 1. So that's what we need to look for there. Bucs are winning still, though.
Easily. I mean, just look at the trenches, at the defensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Think they're going to dominate. Dak is going to be skittish in the pocket because he has not been touched. He hasn't been on an actual football field against another team in a real NFL game since the injury. You're going to see how he's seeing ghosts. He's not going to want to get touched, and he's going to play against a defense that's going to touch him the entire game. They're going to stuff the run. If you pick Zeke in fantasy, he's not getting you any points this week. It's going to be bad for the Dallas Cowboys. This actually won't tell you what's going to happen during the whole course of the season for the Cowboys. This is the worst possible matchup they could have had to start a season. The Cowboys are going to get ramshacked, run amok, and blown out in week 1. Tomorrow night is basically going to be a celebrate the Bucs ceremony.
Man.
So
led astray, hoodwinked, bamboozled.
All of that.
Let them muck.
So we got Seattle at Indy.
Man.
This is an interesting matchup.
It is.
What should we look for in this game?
I think we have to look for if Russell Wilson right out of the gate is able to play an elite defense, because we've seen in the past to where the Seahawks will come out and win the first few games of the season. Sometimes they're, putting up a lot of points on these teams to where, okay, should they be scoring that much on them? And then sometimes they're not scoring a lot of points against the Vikings and they're winning 18-17 in, a crazy drive of the year like we saw last year. And then you look at Indianapolis, are they going to be able to provide that front 4, front 7 pressure on the Seattle line that time in and time out lets Russell Wilson down? We know about the linebacking core. We know that the Colts have a top 5 defense in the NFL, maybe even top 3 if you ask certain people. You're going to be looking at the trench work from the Colts, and if Russ is able to immediately come out of the gates after a little bit of the offseason speculation we had and be able to win a very big matchup for them in week 1. Still taking Seattle in this one, though, but it is going to be a tight victory here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we want to look to see just how much they're going to let Russ cook, because that was actually a theme for the offseason, just the whole feud between Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. I think Russ is going to air the ball out. I mean, they will struggle to start the game because of the defensive front that Indianapolis is coming with. I just don't think they can sustain it for the entire game. The Seahawks have better coaching. They have the better quarterback. They have that wide receiver core. Russ will make it happen. He's going to make plays when it comes time to make plays. So when we get into the third, fourth quarter, the defense starts to get tired. Russ extends some plays. I think Seattle they'll break the game open in the second half. If they're down, they'll come back. If they aren't, they'll sustain. Seattle will win this game. So we got Green Bay at New Orleans. What should we look for here?
I think we have to look for how resilient, again, can the Saints be with their back against the wall, having their roster almost stripped down to the studs and not having their hero Drew Brees basically backing them in a really rough time. This feels like a Drew Brees injury times 5. Now you're not at home. You don't know when you're getting back to your stadium. And then with the Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers could come out and torch this Saints secondary, as much as I hate to say that because the Saints still have a good secondary in this league. But Aaron Rodgers, he's pissed. He kind of got exposed. People said certain things about him. He's the reigning MVP, and he knows this is probably his last year in Green Bay. He wants to put on a show to really increase his trade stock this year. So I think we look for Aaron Rodgers. How serious does he take a week one matchup kind of in a different setting for a Saints team? And then how resilient can the Saints be? Because the Saints could sneak up and win this game, but I am going to take the Packers comfortably, and it will be a decent win like I mentioned earlier.
But I think the worst thing that possibly could have happened for the Saints is this game be played in Jacksonville.
Yep.
I mean, the Saints and the Packers are probably the two, over the past decade, these are the two most home-dependent teams in the entire NFL.
Yep.
Both of them are lights out great at home, and both of them are mediocre as hell on the road. And now it's a neutral site game. So the advantage that New Orleans had is gone. I mean, we think Winston just might actually do his thing. But, I mean, that's yet to be seen. He had the surgery. He looked good in the preseason, but it was the preseason. We've got to see if he can do that in the regular season. And we have seen him throw for 5,000 yards. So the people are like, we saw him throw 33 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. All I'm saying is, can you not turn the ball over 30-plus times for the season? If he can come out and have the offensive production without the turnovers, then the Saints could actually be onto something. I don't see it happening. Aaron Rodgers is going to come out. He's going to handle business. I think Green Bay wins this game handily. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. 12-4 last season. Started the season 11-0. Finished it 1 out of the last, they went 1-5 in their last 6 games. Or 1-4 maybe.
Yep.
No, 1-5.
Well, 1-5, yeah, the last 6 because of the playoffs.
They lost 5 of the last 6 games. What is this Pittsburgh Steelers team bringing into Buffalo?
They're bringing in a really mediocre offense against potentially the, wrong team here. But they're bringing in, of course, a really mediocre offense against a high-flying offense in Buffalo that has Josh Allen and that has Stephon Diggs and a Cole Beasley and an Emmanuel Sanders and a Matt Breida, like I mentioned earlier. You know, the Bills are going to be one of the fastest teams in the NFL. And as good as the Steelers' defense is going to be, I still do have the Bills taking this one because I think Josh Allen's going to come out and he knows that it's got to be a big game because the Steelers, oddly enough, they could be there later down the road to interfere with them in their playoff hopes, and they don't want a team like that that's going to be that smash mouth and that hardcore defensively up front to give them any fits later on down the road. So they have to take care of business here. I think you're looking for Josh Allen to really put on a performance to show people it wasn't just last year against the Steelers defense. And on the Steelers side, you know you're looking at their defense, of course, but their offense is going to have to show up. It's not going to, and that's a major reason why the Steelers fall short in week 1.
I mean, I think
and Najee Harris is running behind the second worst offensive line in the NFL.
It'll be more than just the offense. I mean, there's no Pouncey, so like you have a huge question mark at center.
Yep.
Dupree is gone.
Yep.
You're relying on T.J. Watt and Mika Fitzpatrick to just recreate what exactly? You had the weakest schedule in the entire NFL last year, and that's why you went 11-0.
Yep.
You're coming out playing against one of the best offenses in the entire NFL, and your offense is subpar and weak. This is going to look similar to like a Pac-12 or a Big 12 team that comes out running the air raid and just runs the score up to the point where you're like, well, we got Najee Harris. Like, but you're down by 20. Now you can't run the ball anymore.
Najee Harris is running behind an awful offensive line.
You won't be able to run because you'll be down by too much. Buffalo is going to run away with this game. This game will be just as bad as the Tampa Bay-Dallas game. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense got torched by every team they played with a real quarterback last year. Yep. They had the fortune of playing all run-centric teams last season. It's not the case this year. Almost every week they play a team with a quarterback that airs the ball out, and they're going to expose that secondary. The secondary is bad. It was always bad, and it's going to be ugly. I got Buffalo putting up at least 40 points in this game. So, man, before we get out of here, real quick, Cleveland at Kansas City. We only got about 2 minutes.
Right. Let's get it, man. So Kansas City is going to take this one. And, you know, like I said, you're talking about two really top 5 offensive lines in the NFL. But when you look at the secondary of the Cleveland Browns, I don't think they can hang with the Tyreeks and the Mecole Hardmans and the Patrick Mahomes and the Travis Kelce's, you know, of the world. And the Chiefs are going to be out there to perform that. They are pissed about the Super Bowl. They just rebuilt a line. Mahomes is going to have all sorts of time, and he's already a magician. This is a big statement win in the rematch of the divisional. I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I would take them by probably 10.
I think the Cleveland Browns are going to come out on a mission. They are extremely upset. They are butthurt about how that game went down.
With anything is possible.
That no call right at the goal line at the end of the first half where they could have scored a touchdown. Well, I can't remember whether it was a go-ahead or a tying touchdown, but whichever the case was, completely changed the momentum of the game where it should have been a targeting penalty.
Yep.
I mean, you can't be mad at the fact that they didn't call it, but the fact remains they've upgraded on the defense. They are going to get to Pat Mahomes. He may not get pressure the same way he did in the Super Bowl, but he's going to be under duress, and they're going to put them in a similar type of situation as what they were, where Pat Mahomes is having to get rid of the ball really fast and make ridiculous plays and hope that his skill players can come through and answer the bell, which they did not. As good as Tyreek Hill is and as good as Clyde Edwards-Helaire is, they drop balls in the biggest situations. Travis Kelce had 12, 13 catches in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
But he had some of the biggest drops.
Yep.
His best players failed him on the biggest plays. Third downs, he scrambles, he's falling down, he contorts and throws the ball, and the ball hits you in the face mask. They've shown that when you put that kind of pressure on them, they crack. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Cleveland. So, man, it's been a hell of a show.
Yep.
We ain't got but maybe about 30 seconds. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy, Famous Fees. Y'all know how to find me. Appreciate y'all for listening. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. It's Famous Fees. One more time. Y'all stay tuned. Tuesday next week.
You already know Tuesday next week. Subscribe. Share the show. Get us to 300 subs before next week. We're at about 285. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. More picks. Let's go, baby. Petty Sports is out.